This is the most terrifying prison in the world. Just let any criminal out. They are formidable bugs that dominate their domain. At this moment, however, they all bowed in submission to a young boy. Just because 3 years ago, the young man voluntarily went to the prison. The electromagnetic door, weighing tens of thousands of pounds, was sent flying with just one kick from him. The 4 billion prisoners in the prison were severely beaten by him. Since then, you became the ruler of the prison. At this moment, the warden quickly ran over to your side. Big boss, someone has come to see you. Hearing this, you sprang to your feet in an instant. Could it be that he has returned? However, upon arriving at the reception room, you were stunned. The person who came is not the one you were waiting for. Instead, she was a stunning beauty dressed in professional attire. You seem a bit surprised to reach out to me. It seems like I haven't met him before. The woman observed carefully from head to toe. The eyes were filled with disdain. My name is Qi Tianjiao. She is your fiancée. But you should also understand. My outfit cost 168,000 yuan. The necklace costs 1.7 million. The villa I live in is worth over 30 million. These are beyond what you can provide. Hearing this, you were somewhat confused. Instead, responded that you were overthinking. I didn't intend to give it to you. Qi Tianjiao's expression darkened. So, you're saying you plan to rely on someone else after getting out of prison? No need to mention it. You asked the disciplinarian to bring a box. Inside were 9 striking marriage certificates. Seeing this scene, Qi Tianjiao was instantly left speechless. And vaguely, he caught sight of a marriage certificate. The woman is named Ouyang Qian. The daughter of the richest person in Tianhai is named Ouyang Qian. This one belongs to you. You casually tossed out a marriage certificate. Qi Tianjiao suppressed the shock in his heart. Received the marriage certificate. Couldn't help but ask if you got involved through fraud. If not fraud, why does he have so many marriage certificates? He always uses sweet talk to win a woman's favor. Deceived to obtain money. You paid no attention. Stand up and walk away. Return to the detention area. You look at the marriage certificate. A complete loss for words. 9 marriage engagements. If someone comes to break off the engagement again, so annoying. Why not take the initiative? Settle the divorce first before coming back. Thinking of this, pick up the box. Quickly leave the detention area. A structure that is 8 meters tall and 20 meters long. The electromagnetic door, weighing tens of thousands of pounds, was once again kicked away by you. The guards stationed on the surrounding high platforms saw this, turning around one after another and lowering their heads. They still remember. 3 years ago, this guy barged in the same way by kicking the door open. A few hours later, you boarded the plane to Tianhai City. However, enemies often cross paths. You just entered the engine room. Looking up, I caught sight of Qi Tianjiao. He noticed you as well. You were startled and asked if you had been released after serving your sentence. Haven't I made myself clear enough? Our statuses are worlds apart. Stop chasing anymore. Go down immediately. Qi Tianjiao thought to himself. Just released from prison and immediately boarded a flight. If it's not intentional, then what is it? The corners of your mouth twitched. You have a problem with your mind. You need to be treated. Qi Tian was so arrogant that it made one's teeth itch. Previously, handing over the marriage certificate so decisively. I even held him in higher regard. I didn't expect it to be a scoundrel. The airplane landed shortly. Qi Tianjiao was the first to stand up. Walk up to you. A quiet warning was given, reminding that it is valuable for one to have self-awareness. Stop following me. Otherwise, I don't mind letting you know about my abilities in Tianhai City. Without waiting for your response, he finished speaking. Got off the plane and turned around. But he had just reached the doorway, but was stopped by the flight attendant. This woman. I'm sorry. The Tianhai airport has been shut down. Waiting for an important figure to get off the plane. So you are temporarily unable to go down. A look of astonishment flickered in Qi Tianjiao's eyes. To wait for an important figure to disembark from the plane. They actually blocked the airport. This has never happened before in Tianhai City. What kind of significant figure will it be? At this moment, the flight attendant checks the seat numbers and stops in front of you. With the utmost respect, the Honorable Mr. Chen. Please deplane. The first-class cabin instantly erupted into chaos. Everyone's eyes are fixed on you. Qi Tianjiao widened his eyes. Like seeing a ghost. This guy just got out of prison. How did you suddenly transform into an important figure? You're just as confused. In my memory, I don't really have any friends in Tianhai. Yes, that's you. You gave it some thought. Stepping off the plane under the awe-filled gazes of the crowd. Just entered the airport. A sturdy middle-aged man quickly strode forward to greet us. I am Zhang Kongding, the 13th master of the Shenlong Temple. We warmly welcome Mr. Chen to visit Tianhai. If Tianhai people were to witness this scene, it's likely your jaw will hit the floor. This individual, Zhang Kongding. However, the underworld emperor known as Zhang Dragon King. It was even one of the 13 hall masters of the Divine Dragon Hall. It just occurred to you. Oldly, that little worm who cleans your toilet every day, once boasted about creating a Divine Dragon Hall. Energy connects to the heavens. You gave a helpless smile. These people sure come up with endless ways to flatter. Have everyone leave. Take me to find Ouyang Qian. As soon as you leave. Qi Tianjiao walked at the back, feeling uneasy. The scene from moments ago keeps replaying in my mind. He grabbed the gift box that the flight attendant had tucked away. In a lowered voice, asked if it was possible to share some details. What is Mr. Chen's status? Who does the wind turbine factory belong to? The flight attendant glanced at the gift. I shook my head helplessly, as I am unaware of Mr. Chen's identity. However, I've heard people say. It seems that the workers at the wind turbine factory are wearing matching Zhongshan suits. As soon as Qi Tianjiao heard it, suddenly, my eyes lit up. No department uses the Zhongshan suit as their uniform. Could this guy be an escaped prisoner? Wearing a Zhongshan suit is aimed at concealing one's identity. Catch him. It must be this way. Now there's no need to worry about him showing up. The manor in the western suburbs. This is the entrance to the home of Ouyang Hai, the wealthiest person in Tianhai. Why are there so many people? You are seated in the car, looking at the crowd of dozens gathered outside the gate. A puzzled expression. Zhang Tangding hurriedly clarified that Ouyang Qian is Ouyang Hai's daughter. A strange illness struck me a year ago. Daily drowsiness. Recently hired an expert. It's said to be lovesickness. It must wait for someone destined to awaken it. Thus, all the unmarried men in the city showed up. You rolled your eyes as you listened. What kind of marriages is this old man arranging? Qi Tianjiao voluntarily called off the engagement. Ouyang Qian waited so long that she fell lovesick. When he gets back, I must hold him accountable. Be punctual for the opening. As the gates slowly swung open, dozens of people rushed inside, scrambling to get in first. You can head back. I'll go check on you. Open the door and step out of the car. Pass through the estate. Entering the villa's living room. On the sofa in the center of the living room, Ouyang Hai sat with an expression of complete exhaustion. Standing on the left was an elderly man with an air of immortality and grace. Master Gu, please begin testing for those destined. Ouyang Hai said weakly. The elderly man nodded, muttered a few mysterious incantations, then instructed everyone to cut their fingers. Drop a drop of blood into the bowl. Everyone couldn't wait to cut their fingers. After all, whoever becomes Ouyang Qian's destined partner, this lifetime has been a great success. Looking at this program, you couldn't help but burst into laughter. Test the compatibility of destined individuals through their 8 characters. They thought a blood test was being used as a way to determine kinship through dripping blood. What are you laughing at? Ouyang Hai immediately became irritable. He was already agitated. Your smile instantly ignited his anger. All eyes instantly fixate on you. You softly said that you found this method amusing. Not only can one not find a destined soulmate, on the contrary, it may worsen the condition. Make him lose consciousness. Of course, if all the blood is drained, maybe it could wake him up with the smell. Seek attention through sensationalism. The young man cast a cold glare. How dare you make baseless comments about the illness? Do you think you're a miracle doctor? It really is you with that calm and carefree expression. The shed skin of a snake during the awakening of insects. The silkworms of 2 springs. That year, the rooster comb was cooked with May snow. The medicine works like a charm. Even though you are aware, it's highly likely that Ouyang Qian's illness was caused by someone's meddling. However, this prescription truly works. The young man immediately flew into a rage. Where does snakeskin come from during the awakening of insects? How do silkworms survive the winter? Where does the snow come from in May? If you dare to talk nonsense again, be careful, or I'll cut off your tongue. He turned to Ouyang Hai. Tone of frustration. Uncle Ouyang. This guy deliberately put on a show as soon as he walked in. It's obvious they have bad intentions. Hurry up and kick them out. Yang Hai's expression was grim. Turned to look at Master Gu. Seek feedback. Immortal Gu let out a cold snort, dismissing it as mere nonsense. Does Mr. Yang truly lack even this basic level of discernment? I cast him a glance. It was clear that he had no trace of destiny with the young lady in this lifetime. He cursed the old blind man. How do you know that Yang Qian and I are not destined to be together? As soon as these words were spoken, everyone else started laughing. This kid failed to grab attention with his antics, still insisting on fallacious arguments. Yang Hai was also enraged by the rudeness of the illegitimate son. This is an expert invited specifically to treat my daughter. How dare you insult me? However, Master Gu raised his hand to signal them to stay still. Step by step, I walked up to you, staring at you with a cold gaze. Although I am lacking in ability, spent 50 years mastering the craft. Start education at the age of 3. Apprenticed at the age of 8. At 16, a glance determines fate. The auspicious and inauspicious aspects of yin-yang, feng shui, and qi can all be discerned at a glance. I observe your facial features. It is clear that you are not destined to be with the lady. Do you have the audacity to call me blind? At that moment, you casually pulled out the marriage certificate and held it up in front of him. If your eyes work, keep them wide open and take a good look. This is what it means to have no fate. The marriage contract was glanced at sharply by Master Ji. Stood frozen on the spot. The man, Zhao Pingan. The woman Yang Qian. Yang Hai stepped forward as well. See the marriage certificate. Exclaimed in astonishment that what the old man said was true. He recalled what his father had said before leaving. Arranged a childhood engagement for my daughter. Though I remember. But didn't take it seriously. You put away the marriage certificate. A calm expression. The old blind man continued, now, where was I? Master Ji's face turned bright red. The teeth clatter, but it's fake. This marriage certificate is definitely fake. The young man stared at you. He was furious, and in his eyes burned the fire of anger. He's nothing but a liar. Hurry up and kick them out. Yang Hai's expression was complicated, and the marriage certificate was genuine. Then slowly said, since our Yang family has acknowledged it. But times have changed now. The matter of marriage still depends on Qianqian's decision. Wait until Qianqian wakes up before shedding blood. No need to test me, I'll come. Simply for breaking off the engagement. Keep the marriage certificate safe. I left, saying. You turned around and walked away. Before leaving, a prescription was thrown out as compensation for the broken engagement. Remember to keep it safe. The entire hall instantly erupted into chaos. The son-in-law of the richest person in Tianhai city refuses to take the position. That's absolutely wild. Yang Hai naturally didn't take your words to heart. Turn around and perform the blood test together with Master Gu. However, nearly 10 consecutive tests were conducted. Yang Qian remained unconscious. In the end, Yang Qian was deeply moved. To sleep more soundly. Seeing the woman act like this, Lu Yeme was also getting anxious. Yang Hai suddenly recalled what you had said. Immediately ordered to hurry. Order someone to search for the snakeskin shed during the awakening of insects. The soup was served promptly. Yang Hai personally fed Yang Qian to drink. Just take 2 sips. Yang Qian slowly opened her eyes. Everyone was instantly petrified. Yang Hai was so excited that he almost jumped up. Please ask Qin Pingan to return quickly. On the other side, you step out of the West Suburban Manor. Just find the next person to break off the engagement with. The beauty of Yaoqin is astonishing. However, decided to find a restaurant to grab a bite first. While passing by a partially open private room, caught a glimpse out of the corner of my eye. One of them was none other than Qi Tianjiao. How come I run into him everywhere I go? But you simply didn't pay attention to it. Just take a seat right in the lobby. In the private room, Qi Tianjiao raised his wine glass. Mr. Wang offers this drink to you. I hope priority can be given to cheese for the supply of raw materials this time. We will absolutely ensure quality. Mr. Wang waved his hand absent-mindedly. Let's talk about it later. Kitty Angio's smile froze. Anxious at heart. He just took over the Qi family. In urgent need of performance to prove oneself. The person in front of you is a crucial figure. He cautiously asked Mr. Wang if there was something troubling him. If I can be of assistance. Never be vague. Your boss, Mr. Wang, cast a glance at him. Sure, here's the rewritten sentence. Alright, the young lady from the Yi family in the Imperial City will arrive in Tianhai this afternoon. I need you to make it possible for me to meet. Don't mention it this time. All future raw materials will be provided to the Qi family. Qi Tianzhou was momentarily stunned. The Yi family is undoubtedly an unattainable presence. Does he even have the connections for that? People around started discussing. The young lady from the Yi family sealed off the airport as soon as she got off the plane. This kind of grandeur is something we can forget about for the rest of our lives. Yeah, that level is completely out of reach. I heard that Missy is as beautiful as a goddess. A beauty that could captivate an entire nation. Qi Tianzhou overheard their discussion. Gave it some careful thought. Mr. Wang, you all made a mistake. The airport was not locked down in the afternoon because of Miss Ye's arrival. It's about capturing fugitives. Apprehending fugitives. Everyone was taken aback. Qi Tianzhou nodded. Tell the whole story about what happened at the airport. Oh, so that's how it is. It turns out to be an insignificant nobody. I thought Miss Ye had arrived. Felt melancholic all afternoon. Others immediately caught up with the rhythm. Does a minor character like this even deserve Mr. Wang's attention? I'll go and ask around. Close the door and find someone to take him out. I know people in prison. Upon hearing this, Qi Tianzhou, my heart tightened once again. Thinking of you being inside. Life is likely to be tough. But on second thought, isn't this asking for it? At that moment, his phone started ringing. Qi Tianzhou stood up and walked out. Just stepped out, huh? He suddenly shouted. Several people in the private room immediately rushed out upon hearing the noise. What's up with Mr. Qi? Where do you feel unwell? Qi Tianzhou acted as if he hadn't heard their questions. Staring fixedly at the corner of the hall. Why is Chen Ping in here? I just want to have a meal. You murmured a sentence. My mind is also extremely restless. Why did he come out again? Although I didn't eat enough. But you couldn't be bothered to respond. He put down his chopsticks and got up to leave. Stand still, Qi Tianzhou regained his composure. Fuming with rage. He rushed right up to you. I mentioned it earlier. We're not from the same world. Stop following me. Are you incapable of understanding what people are saying? As soon as these words were spoken, the people around immediately understood. Emotions can make someone overly eager to please. Still keeping tabs on them? No wonder they reacted so strongly. You're also completely speechless. No one knows where his confidence comes from. Which eye of yours saw me following you? Make way at this moment. Mr. Wang also stepped out of the private room. Who is this guy Qi? He's the one I just mentioned. The fugitive who was caught at the airport. Not sure how it ended up coming out again. As soon as these words were spoken, the entire restaurant fell silent immediately. The fugitive is a person on the run. The people who were just shouting about beating you up have all chickened out. Mr. Wang was completely frozen in place. Fight with a fugitive. Isn't that courting death? Why didn't you mention it earlier? Everyone deeply regretted it. Afraid of catching your attention. You hear him introduce it like that. I was feeling a bit irritated. However, observing the people around, they no longer dared to act arrogantly. Too lazy to explain. Directly bypassed Qi Tianzhou and walk out. He stood in front of you once again. Feign composure. You must ensure that you will never appear in front of me again. Otherwise, don't even think about stepping out of this door today. How do you plan to stop me from leaving? Qi Tianzhou felt a chill run down his spine under your intense gaze. It suddenly occurred to me that you are a criminal. When someone loses their temper, they can do anything. However, he absolutely cannot admit defeat. Admitted it today. What should we do in the future? So he mustered up his courage and called out to Mr. Liu. Call the friend who is helping you find your mother. Mr. Liu was almost scared out of his wits when he heard that. Quickly waved my hand, indicating I don't know them. Looking for a mother. If you're unfamiliar, calling before your friend arrives might not be the case. I'm afraid it might fall victim to harm. Only a fool would fight. Qi Tianzhou looked utterly stunned. Immediately shift to another person. Mr. Zhang, didn't you make a lot of friends while in prison? Maybe his boss is around. Mr. Zhang almost coughed up blood. What if they're referring to your enemy? Waving hands repeatedly. No friends, no acquaintances. Qi Tianzhou's face flushed with heat. His gaze swept across the crowd. Everywhere I look, there are cries for help. But everyone hurriedly avoided. Assist him in dealing with a fugitive. He must be frustrated, isn't he? In the end, all hope was placed on Mr. Wang. After all, he is the most capable among those present. Mr. Wang was cursing inwardly, but had to put on a smile that looked even more painful than crying. Young man, you're just starting to look for a job, aren't you? I have a task here. Starting salary of $5,000 per month. How about giving it some thought? You let out a cold laugh. 5,000. The people in prison try to avoid getting hit one more time. You'd need to shell out at least $1 million. Then you calmly said, get lost. Mr. Wang and a few others had their faces instantly flush bright red. Seeing this, Qi Tianjiao reacted, gritting their teeth and shouting at you, why are you pretending? Don't assume that those who go barefoot have nothing to lose. This is reality. It's not fiction. I'll let you go today, but let me come across it next time. I will make you regret it for a lifetime. But as soon as he spoke those words, a deep voice suddenly came from the doorway. Who do you want to make regret for a lifetime? Everyone recognized at a glance. The old man was none other than Butler Fu, who served Tianhai, the wealthiest person around. Mr. Wang quickly stepped forward to greet. What brings you here today? Uncle Fu, hello. The other people fawningly exclaimed. Uncle Fu didn't give them a proper look. Walked past. In front of Zhao Ping'an. Mr. Zhao, I sincerely apologize for startling you. Let me take care of things here. He spoke while glaring menacingly at Qi Tianjiao. Dare to threaten the esteemed guest of Mr. Ouyang. Looking for death, Qi Tianjiao, a thunderous storm. Frozen in fear. Mr. Wang and a few others were also stunned. He is not a fugitive. It is an honored guest of Tianhai. Uncle Fu went on to say, kneel down and apologize to Mr. Zhao immediately. Otherwise, I'll make you regret it for the rest of your life. Qi Tianjiao's face turned pale, devoid of any trace of color. The night is somewhat known even in Tianhai. It's nothing more than second tier, far behind Tianhai. Don't mention Tianhai. Uncle Fu can easily outplay everyone. The knight, bending both knees, was about to kneel. Forget it, Zhao Ping'an spoke up just in time. For one, it is not my habit to demean women. Secondly, Qi Tianjiao initially agreed to break off the engagement on the condition that 3 requirements were met. Considering this, give him a chance. Look at Uncle Fu. Why are you looking for me? Uncle Fu quickly gave a slight bow to Mr. Ouyang. Sincerely ask you to return. Zhao Ping'an pondered for a moment. Anyway, we can't leave today. Just go take a look. Let's go. The two of them left right away. Several executives immediately lost their temper. What exactly is going on with Mr. Qi? He is described as a fugitive. Why did you become an honored guest of the richest man? If we face retaliation because of this, I will never let you off the hook. Treating us like fools. Qi Tianjiao's face turned pale. It's impossible to defend oneself. My mind went completely blank. Completely incapable of thinking. I still can't figure out why Zhao Ping'an became an honored guest of the richest man. Please remain calm, everyone. Mr. Wang suddenly spoke. Gazed at Qi Tianjiao. Smiled and said, Mr. Qi. I never expected you to have such a connection with Mr. Zhao. I have decided to form a strategic partnership with the knight. From now on, you'll be responsible for providing all the raw materials. However, you need to have Mr. Zhao act as the intermediary. The beautiful West Suburb Manor. This is Zhao Ping'an. He was the one who saved your life. What's more, he's your fiancé Ouyang. Hai Hong introduced with a radiant smile. I have already gone through everything just now. He recalled his father's words once again. This young man possesses extraordinary and world-shaking talent. Ensure the Ouyang family flourishes for 100 years. Used to not believe. Nowadays, seeing Zhao Ping'an casually save his daughter. In my heart, I don't consider him as my son-in-law. Ouyang Qian spoke in a deep voice, Dad. I have said that I would never get married in this lifetime. Don't make me finish speaking and then glare at Zhao Ping'an with disgust. Calm down, I'm not marrying either. Zhao Ping'an was utterly speechless. I can't figure out why all girls are like this. Everyone thinks of themselves as wise and knowledgeable. It seems like everyone wants a bite of it. What brings you to see me, Tianhai? Tianhai was at a loss for words, unable to respond. The daughter has a naturally aloof personality. That's just the way she talks. Why is Zhao Ping'an acting like this as well? There is no sense of respecting hierarchy or acknowledging seniority. Lu Yi didn't see her husband feeling embarrassed. Promptly, he smiled and said, Xiao Zhao. Does it mean I can only invite you when there's something going on? Do you and Shanxian have a betrothal? We are one family. By the way, how did you come here on your own? Parents have always taught Zhao Ping'an to treat others with respect and kindness. I show great respect to others. Seeing Lu Yi, his attitude seemed quite good. The tone softened a bit as I mentioned I have no parents. Raised by a master since childhood. The master has been traveling for 3 years and has not returned yet. That's why I came by myself. Lu Yi slightly furrowed his brows, having neither father nor mother. I thought he came from a prominent family. Then chuckled and asked, so how have you been these past 3 years? Why didn't you come 3 years ago? Mentioning this point, Ping'an Zhao was also very angry. Truthfully, I replied that the master asked me to wait for him in prison. Lu Yi didn't get confused. Ouyang Hai was stunned. Even Ouyang Qian, who hadn't paid any real attention to Zhao Ping'an, was stunned. Lu Yi looked embarrassed in prison. Cool down quickly. There are no good people in prison. He also wants to marry the daughter. Are you even qualified to change your attitude so quickly, Qianqian? The year you were ill. Baosher Su frequently spends time with you. Be kinder to others in the future. Ouyang Qian nodded. I casually said that I was tired. Turn around and head upstairs. Lu Yi did not look at Ouyang Hai again. Said to her husband. The prominent Yi family in the imperial capital recently. Miss Yi is coming to Tianhai to invest. You need to prepare more. Strive to collaborate with the Yi family. Head to the study and get ready. Of course, Ouyang Hai understood what his wife meant. He intends to play the villain to drive Zhao Ping'an away. It was also assumed that Zhao Ping'an came from an extraordinary background. Who would have thought he was an orphan? Also spent time in prison. No way would I ever agree to get up and leave. As for my father's words, I might be getting forgetful in my old age. Zhao Ping'an noticed the change in Lu Yimei. Yet what struck me even more deeply was this invitation. Tentatively inquired Aunt Lu. Is the young lady of the Yi family from the imperial capital named Ye Yaoqin? Lu Yi didn't seem like a completely different person. The face was filled with deep disdain and closeness. But that's not something you need to worry about. Also, please don't call me Aunt Lu. We don't know each other well. Zhao Ping'an furrowed his brows. Women can be unpredictable regardless of their age. Lu Yanmei took out a bank card. There's $1 million lying on the coffee table. Take the money and leave immediately. From now on, you no longer have any connection to our Ouyang family. Don't mention to others that you once had a marriage agreement with Qianqian. Got it? Your family isn't the kind that lowly people like this can aspire to associate with. Anger welled up in Zhao Ping's heart. However, recalling the master's words, he often competed with Tianhai for superiority. Do not argue with a foolish dog. Calmly said. I have nothing to do with you. Being poor is not your fault. It is your fault that you are poor yet unaware of it. Take this million and keep it. You were rewarded and got up to walk outside. Take a few steps forward. A muffled thunderclap echoed. It suddenly started pouring rain outside. Lu Yi trembled all over without a trace of anger. As the wife of the wealthiest man in Tianhai City, someone actually claims to be poor. If it weren't for the concern that he had served time in prison, I want to slap him twice myself. Angrily said, you have 10 minutes to call a car. No matter what, you must leave my house in 10 minutes. Zhao Ping'an couldn't be bothered to respond. Take out the phone and call Zhang Gangding. Have him pick me up. Footsteps echoed from the stairs. Ouyang Hai descended with an embarrassed expression on his face. He has been listening all along. Worried that his wife might provoke someone to anger. As the richest person, it's necessary to deal tough with this kind of small fry. You're disgusting too. Slowly said, Xiao Zhao is leaving, huh? Where do you live? Have Uncle Fu arrange a car to take you back. Lu Yi did not arrive immediately, feeling angry inside. Didn't you hear that they called a friend to come pick them up? Now it's your turn to face the danger. Ouyang Hai did not dare to oppose. It is widely known that he is the richest person. Few people are aware that he is henpecked. He cast a resentful glance at his wife. Why bother dealing with such lowly behavior? Lu Yi did not cross his arms. Unmoved, mockingly remarked that he already had friends upon arriving in Tianhai. You probably met in prison, right? You don't even take $1 million seriously. The friends you know must have a very high rank. Spending 3 years in prison is just the level of a petty thief. Friends aren't all that impressive either. No sooner had the words been spoken. Butler Fubo walked in and said, Sir, Madam. Here comes Zhang Longwang. Dragon King Zhang. Ouyang Hai and Lu Yi were momentarily stunned upon hearing this unfamiliar name. Being amidst the sky and sea, naturally recognizes this true underground emperor. It's just that we don't interact much on a regular basis. What is he here for? Please hurry. Yaoqin immediately responded, though he was the wealthiest person in Tianhai. However, they were unwilling to offend this underground king. Just in time. Your friend with the last name Zhao might still know him. A faint trace of mockery appeared at the corners of Lu Ye's eyes and lips. Zhao Ping'an. This petty thug who just got out of prison even had to call his cellmate to pick him up. The entire Tianhai city has served time in prison. How many people are not Zhang Long's followers? Wait for his friend to arrive. Seeing Dragon King Zhang. I'm afraid it might scare to death. Zhao Ping'an let out a cold chuckle. Hearing his laughter, Lu Ye clenched his teeth in anger. Yaoqin was also quite unhappy. This person is overly arrogant. In a bit, we'll have Zhang Longwen teach him a lesson. Just as he was wondering, Uncle Fu brought Zhang Gangding inside. Yaoqin immediately clasped his hands into fists and stepped forward. With a smile, he said, "It's an honor to have Dragon King Zhang visit us. Make our humble abode shine with glory. It also fills me with great honor, Ouyang." Lu Yi was not by my side. We warmly welcome Dragon King Zhang's presence. Zhang Dangding also had a smile on his face. Raise both hands. Respond with clasped fists. Ignore them. I find them disgusting. Zhao Ping'an suddenly spoke. Urged again. This place reeks as well. Hurry up and drive. I don't want to stay even a moment longer. As soon as these words were spoken, Yaoqin and Lu Yi didn't freeze up. Is it his place to speak in this situation? And what on earth is he talking about? About to lose my temper. Zhang Danding was so startled that he gave a shiver. Respectfully said, acknowledging minor mistakes. This way, Mr. Zhao. I'll drive right away. After finishing speaking, he opened the umbrella and walked over to Zhao Ping'an. Help them hold an umbrella. Zhao Ping'an walked away slowly. Walking away without looking back, he said. Don't think of yourself as too significant. In my view, you are nothing at all. After finishing speaking, he had already stepped out. Yaoqin and Lu Yi didn't stay. Stunned like a statue. A rumbling thunder echoed in my mind. Speechless. My scalp tingled. Dragon Zhang is here to pick up Ping'an Zhao. This underworld emperor referred to himself as a humble subordinate in front of Zhao Ping'an. What is your husband Zhao Ping'an doing? Lu Yi asked without showing any fear. Thinking about the attitude I just showed toward Zhao Ping'an. A chill ran down my back. I have no idea either. Yaoqin broke down and exclaimed. The scene just now completely shattered conventional understanding. When has the renowned Dragon King Zhang ever shown respect to others? In front of Zhao Ping'an, referred to oneself as Xiao. The two exchanged a glance. At the same time, he swiftly dashed upstairs toward Yaoqian's room. Mr. Zhao, Yaoqin has offended you. Do you need my help? Zhang Dangding cautiously inquired. This was personally instructed by the shop owner. Distinguished guests must give importance. As long as he gives the order. It will cause trouble for Yaoqin. Zhao Ping'an couldn't be bothered to respond. They quickly departed from Tianhai. We will never meet again in this lifetime. So, where are we headed now? Zhang Dangding asked again. Zhao Ping'an was stumped by the question. According to the original schedule, find a hotel to spend the night. Tomorrow, I'll head to the imperial capital to break off the engagement with Ye Yaoqin. But he actually plans to come to Tianhai. Why not wait a few days? Waiting a few days naturally means staying away from hotels. I'll let you know after I take a moment to relax. Zhao Ping'an replied casually. Take out the phone and call the warden to let him know. Ask who owns a house by the sea and sky. Stay for a few days. Less than a minute. The warden responded. In the prison, there is an economic criminal known as the king of part-time jobs. There is a villa by the sea. Cloud Summit Palace. It is said to still be the most impressive villa in Tianhai. Economic offender Zhao Ping'an couldn't help but shake his head. In the Mingdu prison, economic offenders are at the lowest level. The small earthworm who created the Divine Dragon Hall cleans its own toilet. This corporate kingpin. I'm afraid I'm not even worthy of cleaning the toilet for a little earthworm. Casually mentioned a remark. Let him have enough food for a month. Quickly arrived at the Cloud Peak Villa district located on Cloud Peak Mountain. There are 36 villas here. The numbers at the foot of the mountain are large. The higher it goes, the smaller it becomes. On top of Cloud Peak 1, at the very summit of Nanshan lies the Cloud Palace. You can overlook the entirety of Tianhai City. Zhao Ping'an asked Zhang Gang to push back. Enter the password. Step into the villa. The villa is decorated in an exceptionally luxurious manner. Everywhere in sight is filled with antiques. Handcrafted chandelier. It is clear at a glance that it is worth a fortune. Zhao Ping'an's ears twitched slightly. Instinctively glanced upstairs. A faint sound of running water came from upstairs. Though it is quite small. However, he could still hear. Sniffed again with the nose. Suddenly speechless and awkward. The air was filled with a faint fragrance reminiscent of a young girl. If I'm not mistaken, it must have been arranged by that high-achieving employee. However, I'll be staying here for a few days. He really knows how to flatter. Take a seat on the couch. Plan to let him leave after he finishes washing. Although he is capable of emitting a pleasant fragrance. Proof or still. But the master once said, without his permission, you can't just act recklessly. Initially, Yuan Yang. Could you hurry up and come over? Don't make me wait too long. There are still 6 fainting spells to recover from. Have to return to the prison early to wait for the master. Zhao Ping'an pondered silently. Just as I was thinking, I noticed a figure on the stairs. Zhao Ping'an instinctively glanced over. Upon witnessing the scene on the staircase, it felt like being hit over the head with a club. At this very moment, a woman was standing on the stairs. Fair and delicate skin. The facial features are well defined. As beautiful as a blooming flower. Hair is damp. There's still a trace of youthful beauty on her face. The blush of bathing. The most crucial thing is, he is not wearing any clothes. You can even spot the droplets of water on the skin. The woman was also staring at him. The two locked eyes with each other. Zhao Ping'an quickly turned his head. Do not look at what is inappropriate. Immediately said to put on clothes first. Then leave immediately. The woman's face turned bright red as if it were about to bleed. Staring at Zhao Ping'an. A murderous intent flashed in his eyes. A few moments later, quietly turned around and went back upstairs. Ping'an Zhao heard the sound of footsteps. Only then did I finally breathe a sigh of relief. Couldn't help but silently criticize. Even though you were sent here intentionally. But that's a bit too audacious. What if someone comes in? Waited for a moment. Footsteps echoed on the stairs once more. Zhao Ping'an looked over. She noticed her wearing a burgundy nightgown. Extremely tempting. He frowned and asked why you were wearing pajamas. I don't require taking medicine. Hurry up and leave. A glint of murderous intent flickered in the woman's eyes. However, it quickly faded away. Turned into a face full of charm. Walking down the stairs. With a smile, saying they don't want it. The body is being quite honest. Little brother, you showed your lack of confidence. Zhao Ping'an instinctively lowered his head. Then I wished I could disappear into a hole in the ground. Verbally assertive. Ultimately, still inexperienced in worldly matters. It's the first time seeing a woman out of control. Forced myself to say goodbye without unnecessary words. Hurry up and leave, this is my home. The woman had already approached Zhao Ping'an. Eyes full of charm and allure. You do not require assistance. But I need it. Your younger brother is looking at you. Haven't had any experience with women yet, have you? How about this? Serve my sister well tonight. Your sister wants you to become the male master of the Cloud Palace. How does Zhao Ping'an feel baffled? Isn't this the home of that working emperor? How to turn it into his place? Could it be that he is the so-called king of workers? The secretly kept canary. It might be possible to observe the extent of his loneliness. Just like those concubines who were never favored. It could be our home. The woman exudes a fragrance as delicate as orchids. He raised his hand and placed it on Zhao Ping'an's shoulder, enchanting the younger brother. Go upstairs and take a shower first. I'll be there shortly. Let's enjoy ourselves to the fullest. It was the first time Mom Zhao Ping'an had been touched by a woman. Once again, the sound of his kisses could be heard. It feels like my body is about to burst. Cursing fiercely in my heart that the workaholic is inhumane. He's been holding it in like this. Quickly dashed upstairs at the same time. Not necessarily having an idea. Instead, take a cold shower. Quickly calmed the agitation. The woman laughed gracefully, like blooming flowers. The pajama on the body fluttered lightly. Shouted to take a nice bath. Wait for me in bed. After speaking, his expression suddenly darkened. Quickly pull out the phone. Soon, 4 bodyguards dressed in Zhongshan suits entered the room. Enter the living room. Respectfully addressed the young lady. The woman had now changed into ordinary clothes. Spoke coldly 5 minutes ago. A man entered the villa. Right now, he is taking a shower upstairs. 4 bodyguards heard this. His expression was filled with shock. The villa was entered by the man. If any harm comes to the young lady, no number of heads would be enough to atone. From the time the goblins arrived in Tianhai, the master repeatedly insisted on ensuring the young lady's safety. All 4 knelt down simultaneously. In unison, they proclaimed this would be the only time. No accidents occurred. Stand up, all of you. The woman interrupted. Go up and take him away. Avoid causing harm. By the way, remind him to keep his mouth shut. He can understand. There's a heavy rainstorm outside. The 4 of them looked for a place to take shelter from the rain. That's why they let the person in. As for Zhao Ping'an, the crime does not warrant death. It's Miss Xie. The 4 of them stood up together. Rushed upstairs in a hurry. The upstairs bathroom. Zhao Ping'an heard the sound of rapid footsteps coming from the hallway. Frowned slightly. Quickly grabbed a towel and wrapped it around their body. Stepped out swiftly. Saw 4 bodyguards wearing Zhongshan suits. Who are you people? Zhao Ping'an asked coldly. Could they be sent by that woman? The 4 bodyguards exchanged glances. A cold glint of killing intent flickered in their eyes. Because he had almost cost them their heads. And the lady had ordered him to shut his mouth. Only the dead can keep their mouths shut forever. The lead bodyguard said, Kid, come outside with us for a moment. We don't want the lady to witness a bloody scene. Step outside and handle it quickly. If you've got something to say it here. Zhao Ping'an casually remarked. The lead bodyguard clenched his fist, ready to strike. Aimed a punch straight at Zhao Ping'an's face. Told him to leave immediately. Said it was already an act of mercy. Allowed him a little more time to live. And yet he still dared to resist. Then just take him down on the spot. All this over a woman. Zhao Ping'an couldn't help but shake his head. So many people in prison ended up there because of women. They acted too recklessly. Noticing the bodyguard approaching. With a casual and effortless kick. A well-timed kick sent the bodyguard tumbling down the stairs. The remaining 3 bodyguards saw this and charged together. Zhao Ping'an delivered 3 more kicks. Easily sending all 3 of them down the stairs as well. Meanwhile, the woman sitting on the couch waiting for news suddenly stood up, watching the 4 people tumble down the stairs. His eyes were filled with uncontrollable shock. Others might not know how skilled those 4 were, but he knew it very well. They were all top-notch talents carefully selected by his father. Seeing Zhao Ping'an appear at the staircase wrapped in a towel, he cautiously asked, Who are you? And what is your purpose? Zhao Ping'an noticed him getting dressed, and felt a faint sense of disappointment in his heart. The old well remains calm and undisturbed, no need to worry about goodbyes. My name is Zhao Ping'an. I was a cellmate of the corporate king. I just got out and am staying here for a few days. But now that you're here, I'll leave tomorrow. There's a heavy rainstorm outside. It's not convenient for Kai Chongyang. The woman froze for a moment. Then she mentioned the name of the corporate king. Then she returned to her previous charm. With a hint of grievance, she remarked that it turned out to be Chongyang's friend. If you'd said so earlier, I wouldn't have thought it was a burglar. If I had known, there was no need to trouble the bodyguards. Brother, you didn't hold back at all. I wonder if you've always been this strong. Zhao Ping'an was utterly speechless. This woman is practically a seductress. Her words were laced with subtle temptation. She glanced again at the 4 people on the ground. They must be bodyguards after all. And they were left by the corporate king. Otherwise, given his usual behavior, it's impossible for him to remain so disciplined. He walked down the stairs, grabbed the legs of the 4 bodyguards, and dragged them out the door like lifeless dogs. What are you doing? The woman asked in surprise. To wake them up faster. Zhao Ping'an clapped his hands, closed the door, passed by him, went upstairs and righteously declared to his friend. A wife must not be mistreated. Don't get any ideas about me. I'll be leaving tomorrow. The woman was left speechless. Watched Zhao Ping'an's back and teasingly said, You little rascal. Don't think I don't know what you're thinking. You are using this approach to prove your strength to your sister. Isn't that right? Zhao Ping'an, who was deeply concerned about his sister, almost stumbled. He quickly returned to the bedroom. The woman laughed gracefully and charmingly. After a moment of thought, she took out her phone and solemnly declared to the people of Tianhai City, I also invite everyone to attend a meeting tomorrow night at 8 p.m. At the same time, I will announce the partnership in Jinhai. As he made the phone call, emotions surged like a boiling sea. Sleepless night ahead. Zhao Ping'an slept soundly. If not for being woken up by a call, he could have slept until 10 o'clock. Ouyang Qian, how did you know my number? Zhao Ping'an felt a bit irritated. Did not want any further interaction with him. It's not important. Ouyang Qian's tone was cold, almost like a command. Within half an hour, head to the seahorse field during the day. Zhao Ping'an showed no hesitation. On one hand, he disliked the tone. On the other hand, it wasn't necessary. What did you say? Ouyang Qian's tone suddenly grew sharper. As the daughter of the richest man, she is also hailed as the most beautiful woman in Tianhai. She had never been turned down before. He refused to go, and Zhao Ping'an repeated himself. He hung up the phone. But shortly after, he called back again. Holding back his anger, he said that even if their fate was over, it still needed a proper ending. Consider it as putting a period on their engagement. He said he would wait for her, then hung up first. She bit her lip in frustration. If not for her parents' request, she wouldn't even bother dealing with him. Zhao Ping'an heard the sound of the call disconnecting. Muttered to himself, calling it nonsense. Yesterday leaving the West Suburb Manor felt like the end of a sentence. No need for any so-called conclusion. Got ready to go back to sleep. At this moment, his younger brother. Your sister overheard you talking. Here I come now. The voice of Ye Yaoqin came from outside the door. Then the door was pushed open. He was still wearing the burgundy silk pajamas from yesterday. A sash was tied around his waist, accentuating his curves flawlessly. His long legs, pale and smooth like jade, stared intently at Zhao Ping'an. He lifted the blanket, proactively welcoming his sister. Zhao Ping'an felt a shiver down her spine under his gaze. She instinctively pulled the blanket tighter around herself, and broke down, saying, "Don't do this. I'm still not fully awake." Ye Yaoqin exclaimed with excitement. "Good, I'm not fully awake either. Your sister will hold you while you sleep." Zhao Ping'an heard these words. His body once again moved uncontrollably. Seeing her get closer and closer, he suddenly sat up, wrapping his body tightly with the blanket. He nervously turned away and avoided her, silently cursed the old man twice in his heart. Ye Yaoqin laughed so hard she almost doubled over. Still intrigued, she teased, "Look how scared you are. Your sister isn't going to eat you." "Alright, I'll stop teasing you. There's a banquet tonight. I want you to go with me. You're not allowed to say no. You injured my bodyguard. You have to make it up to me." Zhao Ping'an thought there was nothing to do in Tianhai. Agreed and said okay. "You may leave now." Not leaving, Ye Yaoqin blinked her eyes. "Sister still wants to stay and sleep with you. Come here and let your sister give you a hug." Zhao Ping'an fled in a hurry. Arrived at Tianhai Horse Ranch half an hour later. Mainly because there was nowhere else to go. At Yunding Tiangong, worried about losing composure. "Just came here to take a look. Have you heard about it? Miss Yi is hosting a meet and greet tonight. It's been said that Miss Yi arrived in Tianhai a while ago. She has been quietly searching for a business partner. The decision has already been made. It will be announced tonight. Whoever partners with Miss Yi will secure a powerful alliance, will soar to great heights." A group of young men and women gathered to discuss. "Shanqian, if I'm not mistaken, the Yi family's business partner in Tianhai must be your family's Su Baoshi, dressed in a professional uniform. He carries himself with the demeanor of a wealthy heir." Ouyang Qian showed no expression. He seemed incapable of smiling. Cold and aloof. A glint of malice flashed in Su Baoshi's eyes. "Just wait until I get you into bed. Let's see if you can still keep up that cold demeanor." He smiled once again. He asked, "By the way, did that Zhao Ping'an from yesterday leave already?" Yesterday, when Ouyang Hai sent someone to fetch Zhao Ping'an, he also had him leave immediately. Despite saying several times that he wanted to stay, in the end, he still left. Even after being driven away, Ouyang Qian still uttered just one word. Su Baoshi clenched his teeth. He quickly returned to his usual demeanor. Casually, he said, "Qian Qian. Although I don't know much about that Zhao Ping'an, he's not good enough for you. He seems more like a shady street hustler. Just give him some money and send him on his way." Before the words even settled, a voice suddenly sounded from behind. "Did your mother never teach you? Never talk about others behind their backs." Hearing that sound, everyone turned around at the same time. Su Baoshi caught sight of Zhao Ping'an. His expression suddenly became unpleasant. He thought Ouyang Qian had invited him to express her gratitude. But unexpectedly, this person showed up too. "Who are you?" How dare you speak to young Master Su like that? Are you asking for trouble? Others expressed their displeasure one after another. Su Baoshi is the leader of the small group. He can't stand being talked about by others. Zhao Ping'an couldn't be bothered with these minor characters. He fixed his gaze on Su Baoshi and asked, "Not answering means admitting your mother never taught you? Or is it that you don't even have a mother?" As soon as these words were spoken, the crowd's faces turned deathly pale. Because Su Baoshi really doesn't have a mother. This is his greatest vulnerability. Sure enough, Su Baoshi flew into a rage. For years, no one dared to mention his mother in his presence. He raised the whip in his hand and swiftly lashed it toward Zhao Ping'an. "I'll beat you to death." "Don't!" Ouyang Qian screamed in fear. Today was meant to uncover Zhao Ping'an's true identity. If he gets angry and leaves after being hit, how could we proceed with dealing with him? Hit him, keep hitting him. The others joined in the commotion. In the next moment, a figure was sent flying backward 3 meters, then landed heavily on the ground. It was no one else but Su Baoshi. Everyone was stunned. No one saw how Zhao Ping'an kicked. Zhao Ping'an withdrew his foot. In fact, Zhao Ping'an already found Su Baoshi annoying yesterday. It was just that they hadn't fallen out with Ouyang Hai at that time. It was simply out of courtesy. He turned and said directly, "Go ahead and speak. How do you put an end to it?" Ouyang Qian struggled to recover from the shock. She hadn't expected Zhao Ping'an to be so skilled. She frowned and said, "You're too rough. Fighting is something only lowly people do." Zhao Ping'an gave a disdainful smile. "What gives you the right to classify people into different ranks? Not to mention, he made the first move." Ouyang Qian was left speechless. Is this guy really that much of a straight shooter? He's way too blunt. Qian is absolutely right. Resorting to fighting is the lowest form of conflict resolution. Su Baoshi clutched his chest. Pale-faced, he struggled to stand up from the ground. Realizing he couldn't beat Zhao Ping'an in a fight, he had to find another way to salvage his pride. "Hey Zhao, do you dare to compete with me? This is the horse ranch. Let's settle it with a horse riding competition. If I win, you'll get on the ground and let me ride you like a horse. 10 minutes, you dumb dog. Don't bark around, you're asking for trouble. And I'll even kick you," Zhao Ping'an replied calmly. "One kick to let out yesterday's frustration. I won't make another move. Of course, if he keeps yelling randomly, then that's a different story." Su Baoshi was so furious he almost coughed up blood, and snapped angrily, "Bring out my $1.2 million Acaltech horse. Zhao, do you dare to compete? I'll use my horse. You can choose any horse from the stable." His followers and the girls who liked him said angrily, "Look at his shabby clothes. You've never ridden a horse before, have you? This is considered a sport for the elite. He probably hasn't tried it before. He doesn't even know how to ride a horse. Afraid to compete and backing out, huh? If you're a real man, then challenge young Master Zhang." Ouyang Qian also chimed in. "I actually think you should give it a try. Show that you're more than just someone who knows how to fight. And prove that you're a man who doesn't shy away from challenges. Maybe in the past, I could have defended him. But just now, he was being so rude. He even seemed eager to see him embarrass himself. It's not about what you think. It's about what I think. I don't think there's any need to compare." Zhao Ping'an tightened the strings but didn't pluck them. I thought he was going to say something important. Turns out, it was just some trivial nonsense. It feels like an insult to one's intelligence. Turn around and walk away. "Stop right there." Su Baoshi's eyes were filled with rage. He was trembling all over with anger. Letting him leave like this would be utterly humiliating. It would be a complete disgrace. He pulled a bank card out of his pocket and threw it over. Through gritted teeth, he snarled, "This card has 2 million on it. If you have the guts to compete with me, this money will be yours." Throwing money at people was one of his usual tactics. First, make the opponent bow down for money. Then find someone to secretly take it back. Nothing is lost in the process, and the goal is achieved. It also gives the impression of being generous. Zhao Ping'an took the bank card. He didn't lack money, but if it's given for free, why not accept it? He smiled and said, "Fine. I will compete with you. What if you lose?" Su Baoshi gave a dismissive smile. Just then, his prized Acaltech horse was led to his side. He held the reins in one hand and placed one foot in the stirrup. With a fluid motion, he mounted the horse. Sitting tall and commanding, he said, "If I lose, I'll get down on the ground and let you ride me like a horse for 10 minutes. Even though they say it like that, Deep down they're certain there's no chance of losing. In their heart, they are convinced that losing is absolutely impossible. Horseback riding requires skill. It's all about the coordination between rider and horse. If the horse is fast but the rider lacks skill, the speed cannot be utilized effectively. Then it's impossible to fully unleash its speed. I've been raising this horse for 3 years. By now, the horse and I have achieved perfect harmony. Alright, this is a good wager. Zhao Ping'an nodded his head. I'll act as the referee. Ouyang Qian volunteered eagerly. Let's see how Zhao Ping'an embarrasses himself. He also knows something that no one else is aware of. It's that Su Baoshi's Ackeltech horse is about to become a heavy-duty horse. What does heavy-duty horse mean? Its natural qualities are remarkably strong. Its bloodline is pure. It is worthy of being passed down. Looking across the entire racetrack, can rank among the top 3. No matter what, Zhao Ping'an cannot win. Then added that anyone who doesn't honor the bet will be despised by everyone and must leave Tianhai. Alright, this is a great proposal. With Qianxian as the referee, who would dare to disobey, failing to honor the bet? The consequences are severe. Others chimed in one after another. Speaking with a hint of mockery, they glanced at Zhao Ping'an, confident that he would lose. Su Baoshi's face showed a smug smile, capable of making Ouyang Qian despise him. Half the success was already achieved. Proudly said, "You pick the horse. I can borrow any one of them. There's no need." Zhao Ping'an smiled faintly and said he prefers to fulfill bets directly. After speaking, he raised his hand and made a crisp sound. Everyone was stunned upon hearing this. They couldn't understand what he meant. Fulfilling the bet directly. Could it mean he intends to admit defeat? Ouyang Qian also thought the same. If he were to admit defeat, he probably wouldn't ride a horse. Which is why he planned to leave earlier. But staying was all for the 2 million. Yesterday, he turned down $1 million. It was quite a display of integrity. It turned out he thought it wasn't enough. At that moment, the blood-sweating horse let out a loud neigh. It seemed startled. It suddenly leapt high into the air. The horse's entire body reared up. And it kept moving up and down. Everyone was taken aback. What happened to the horse? Su Baoshi was almost thrown off. It's been fiercely raised for 3 years. It has long been tamed. He tightly gripped the reins with both hands. He struck it with the whip. He impatiently demanded it to calm down. "Stop it, I've still got a race to finish." The more he whipped it, the more it resisted. The Ackeltech horse's movements became even more intense. Zhao Ping'an's lips curled into a faint smile. When the master was learning. In the mountains, they rode tigers and black bears. Riding a horse felt far too simple. A loud sharp sound echoed again. The Ackeltech horse reacted to the noise. Its movements became even more intense. It leaped with all 4 legs off the ground. In just 2 jumps, Su Baoshi was thrown off the horse's back, fell heavily to the ground, grimaced in pain. "Master Su, the gem brother." The crowd approached with concern. But before they could get close, an even more shocking scene unfolded. The blood-sweating horse walked over to Su Baoshi, bending its knees and sitting on him. It's always been humans riding horses. But now, it's the horse riding a human. "It was your doing." Ouyang Qian reacted the fastest. She looked at Zhao Ping'an with a face full of shock. Because among these people, he was the only exception. Guess what? Zhao Ping'an gave a calm smile. "I couldn't be bothered to ride it. Let the horse take over." The referee remembered. It was 10 minutes. He turned around and left without another word. Everyone stared at him as if he were some kind of freak. The figure in the distance was his doing. Get lost and stay out of the way. Su Baoshi was furious and humiliated. He never anticipated things would turn out like this. He tried to push the sweating warhorse aside. But this horse weighed over 2,000 pounds. He couldn't move it at all. Su Baoshi peered at Zhao Ping'an through a narrow gap. "If you just let him leave like this, how will you face others in the future?" Roared, demanding him to come back. "The match hasn't ended yet, come back." "You lost." Ouyang Qian gritted her teeth. With a mix of complex emotions, she said, "He can control your horse. There's no need to continue competing. Because the moment you suggested a horse race, you had already lost." Reluctantly shifting their gaze away while speaking. But the sight of the Ackeltech horse made the words stop abruptly. A faint blush quietly appeared on their face. They quickly turned and left. The others also averted their gaze. They saw the Ackeltech horse mounted by Su Baoshi. Their jaws dropped in astonishment. He actually seemed interested in Su Baoshi. Zhao Ping'an stepped out of the Tianhai horse ranch, only to see someone walking toward him from the opposite direction. Why does this girl keep lingering around like a shadow? The person walking straight toward me is no one else. It's Qi Tianjiao himself. He wondered if someone had cast a curse on him. He planned to act like he didn't see anything and leave from the other direction. Stop, Qi Tianjiao said, his face turning red. Yesterday, after hearing what Mr. Wang said, he thought it was an opportunity and decided he absolutely couldn't let it slip away. Unable to get in touch, Zhao Ping'an suddenly remembered. He had a marriage certificate with Ouyang Qian, so he followed Ouyang Qian here. Sure enough, he found him. Zhao Ping'an came to a stop. I'm almost inside the door. You're outside the door. Could it be that I was tailing you again? Come to the horse farm and cut off his words first. Reluctantly admitted that this time it was me coming to see you. There's something I need your help with. His face turned even redder. Never imagined there would come a day when I'd need his help. Zhao Ping'an realized he wasn't here to cause trouble. He let out a deep sigh of relief. Not good at dealing with women at all. Declined, saying he didn't have time. Qi Tianjiao felt deeply uncomfortable inside. Once he tricks Ouyang Qian, he wouldn't flatter her anymore. Take out a bank card. Angrily reassured. I wouldn't ask for your help without a reason. Even though you've captured Ouyang Qian now. One day when he comes to his senses, he will still kick you aside. You need to plan for the future. Here's 200,000. Take the money and come with me. Zhao Ping'an laughed out of anger. Why do people here always like to throw money at others? As if they're incredibly wealthy. Then they tossed the card that had just been handed over by Su Baoshi. There's 2 million here. Take the money and stay away from me. Let's stay out of each other's lives forever. Qi Tianjiao tensed up completely after being hit. The 2 million was followed by a fury that nearly made them explode. It's just about deceiving the richest man's daughter. Why are they pretending so much? But considering I just took over the company, Mr. Wang's order is especially significant. I could only endure it, forcing a smile that was harder than crying. A smile that was painful to look at. Zhao Ping'an always says that a night as a couple creates a bond for 100 nights. We once had a marriage arrangement, so there's some sense of gratitude between us. I'm begging you, please, just help me this one time. Other than the promise to help you 3 times when breaking off the engagement, I can only help 3 more times. There really isn't another solution. Please, I'm begging you. Zhao Ping'an frowned slightly. Instinctively, he observed his complexion. It doesn't look like a terminal illness. It's just a bit of menstrual irregularity. How can there be no solution? Qi Tianjiao noticed his hesitation and pressed forward to seize the opportunity. Zhao Ping'an decided to help out this time, considering the ties of the engagement. Just this once, lend me a hand. Only this one time. All you need to do is meet Mr. Wang. You don't need to say anything at all. After speaking, she put on a pitiful expression. So it turns out she's nothing but a despicable person. Zhao Ping'an has always been someone who responds better to softness than force. Just this one time. Let's not meet again after this. Alright, my car is over here. Qi Tianjiao was overjoyed. He quickly stepped aside. He opened the door of the Maserati like a chauffeur. The two had just gotten in the car and driven off. Ouyang Qian chased after them from the stables. He suddenly realized he hadn't figured out their identity yet. But all he saw was a blurry silhouette as he came out. He was lost in thought. When suddenly, his phone rang. Picked up the phone and said, "Dad, did you get to the bottom of it?" A voice filled with urgency came from the other end of the line. It was Ouyang Hai. Ouyang Qian thought for a moment. Deduced that there was likely no identity involved. Turned back for the sake of 2 million. He recounted the events once more. The West Suburb Manor. I thought his background was much deeper. He turned back to compete just for 2 million. Turns out, yesterday it was because they thought I didn't give enough. Lu Yemei sneered repeatedly. If nothing unexpected happens, it should be that he met Zhang Longwang while in prison. Or perhaps once saved him. Zhang Longwang's reputation isn't because he's particularly remarkable. Still thinking about relying on him to achieve the goal. Tonight's collaboration with the Yi family has fallen apart. I can only depend on myself. Saving someone is a matter of favor. Favors always reach a point where they are fully repaid. Not worth giving much attention to. Capable in one's own right. Completely different. Someone who could make Zhang Longwang bow in submission. Might know Miss Yi. Yang Hai's expression was heavy. Even though he is controlled by his wife, he still has a sharp mind. Otherwise, he wouldn't have become the richest man. Naturally, it won't happen. Believing it's just a matter of personal favors. Seriously stated that conclusions shouldn't be made hastily. Rather than making assumptions, it would be better to directly ask Zhang Longwang. He moved as soon as he decided. Quickly pulled out his phone and dialed Zhang Gangding. When the call connected, he greeted with a smile, Zhang Longwang. This is Yang Hai speaking. Sorry to bother you, but what is the matter? Zhang Dongding's attitude was indifferent. Yang Hai smiled awkwardly and said, this is the situation. Actually, my daughter is engaged to Zhao Ping'an. But this is my first time meeting him. Zhao Ping'an is unaware of the situation. Could Zhang Longwang briefly explain? Without bringing up the engagement. It's impossible to explain. As expected, Zhang Dangding reacted upon hearing about the engagement. The attitude shifted immediately. Got up in an instant. It turns out they are actually family. No wonder Zhao Ping'an casually mentioned it yesterday. If action were taken rashly, the consequences would be unimaginable. Quickly smiled and said, so there's this connection. Yang, be honest with me. I'm not entirely sure what Mr. Zhao's identity is. A friend asked me to assist him. The shop owner's name cannot be mentioned. The identity of the Shanlong temple must remain hidden. It cannot be exposed. A simple assumption from Yang Hai, a friend. This friend must hold a significant position of power and influence. Otherwise, the Dragon King Zhang wouldn't have shown such an attitude. But how does Zhao Ping'an know this person? He probed to see if this friend had ever served time. Prison. The only way Zhao Ping'an could know someone of high status. Zhang Dangding returned. He is still in prison. Yang Hai heard this response. He suddenly understood. So that's how it is. Luyanmiai, standing nearby, couldn't help but mock. See, I guessed it right. Zhao Ping'an is just a nobody. Someone else is more capable. He spent 3 years in prison. Might end up cleaning toilets for others all day. Flattering Yang Hai with a nod. Also agreeing with this statement. At the end of the day, Zhao Ping'an still lacks the capability. Is just riding on someone else's coattails. A nobody and the like. Zhang Dangding heard Lu Yanmei's words. And asked in shock what she said. Zhao Ping'an has served time in prison. Still has only served 3 years. Meanwhile, Zhao Ping'an met Mr. Wang at the tea house. Mr. Wang was extremely respectful. He bent down and bowed, raising both hands, greeting with a cheerful smile. Hardly exchanged a couple of words before taking out the contract, signing it with Qi Tianjiao. And it turned out to be an exclusive supply agreement. After signing the contract, Mr. Wang cautiously asked Mr. Zhao, the young lady from the Yi family is hosting a gathering tonight. Are you planning to attend? He wondered silently. In his mind, Zhao Ping'an being highly regarded by Yang Hai must mean he is an influential figure. Perhaps he even knows Ye Yaoqin. If he could get Zhao to help him and say a few kind words in front of Ye Yaoqin, he could achieve great success. He arrived, leaving Zhao Ping'an momentarily stunned. He really came so quickly. There's no need to wait any longer. He chuckled and said, of course, we should go. In fact, we absolutely must go. Mr. Wang felt a surge of excitement, judging by his attitude. It was clear they knew each other. But there were many things he couldn't say right now. It felt overly impatient and driven by quick success. When we see him with Ye Yaoqin in the evening, go over to say hello. Everything will naturally fall into place. Stood up and said, Mr. Zhao. Then I won't take up more of your time. See you tonight. Paused for a moment and added, rest assured. I will do my best to take care of the night's business. And I'll also encourage my friends to support it. I shall excuse myself now. I quickly sent Qi Tianjiao on his way. My heart was filled with joy. The more contracts there are, the more secure the position becomes. After seeing Mr. Wang off and returning, I suddenly realized Zhao Ping'an wasn't as annoying as I thought. He actually looks quite handsome. Sat across from me, smiled and said I hadn't noticed before. You really play the part convincingly. Zhao Ping'an took a sip of tea. He asked in surprise, what am I pretending to be? Qi Tianjiao pouted, going to Miss Ye's banquet. And said, of course, we should go. We absolutely have to go, but I'm not even qualified for a banquet of that level. Let alone you. You're not even Yang Hai's son-in-law yet. Even if you were, you'd just be a live-in son-in-law. They wouldn't bring you along anyway. In his eyes, Zhao Ping'an has been pretending all along. That includes right now. Even the aura is fake. As for President Wang visiting in the evening, there was no sign of Zhao Ping'an. And there wasn't any presence of major figures from Tianhai. Even people from the provincial capital would attend. It didn't seem normal. Zhao Ping'an was left speechless for a moment. This woman always exudes an inexplicable confidence. It feels like the sky ranks first and the earth comes second. He, the third in line, put down his teacup. He stood up and said he was busy helping out. Once it's done, he can leave. Shi Tianjiao rolled his eyes. He felt a little irritated inside. Of course, that's possible. You still plan to go back and grovel for Ouyang Qian. But let me remind you. Everyone in Tianhai knows Ouyang Qian is aloof. No man has ever been able to win her over. You might be the one she's using as a shield to fend off other suitors. You should always leave yourself a way out. Save up more money in case he kicks you out one day. To the point where you can't even afford a meal. He also doesn't believe that Ouyang Qian would be interested in Zhao Ping'an. Let alone the fact that even Ouyang Qian herself doesn't see him that way. Everything is just an illusion. Zhao Ping'an was utterly speechless. Hurriedly walked away. Shi Tianjiao didn't pause either. Following behind, he said everything I mentioned was good. Remember, the two had just stepped out of the tea house. Two Land Cruisers creaked to a stop in front of the entrance. The car doors opened simultaneously. 8 burly men holding clubs stepped out of the vehicles, looking fierce and menacing. Their imposing demeanor was intimidating. Shi Tianjiao recoiled 2 steps in fear. Among these people, the one leading them was a bald man. He didn't get out of the car. Instead, he stayed in the passenger seat, rolled down the car window, with a face full of disdain. You're Zhao Ping'an. Yes, you are Zhao Ping'an. It felt a bit odd and unfamiliar with them. Without waiting for the bald man to respond, a burly man shouted angrily, "Are you blind or what? Don't you even recognize Bald Lu? And yet you still dare to question Bald Lu." When this name was mentioned, the surrounding passers-by quickly backed away in fear. The tea house hostess immediately lowered her head in fright. Even Shi Tianjia turned pale with fear. Bald Lu, also known as Zhao Ping'an, was puzzled by everyone's reactions around him. It left him utterly confused. It seems like everyone is afraid of him. Asked out of curiosity. He's incredibly capable. Shi Tianjiao sneaked a glance at Bald Zhang. Trembling, he said, he's more than just capable. He's the hall master under Zhang Longwine, the underground emperor. In the underground world. Second only to one person. And above everyone else. Zhao Ping'an listened as he introduced him. Amused. Since when could unruly ruffians be considered respectable? Could someone like that really embody the phrase? One above all others. Seeing him laugh. What are you laughing at? The burly man who had just spoken glared with wide eyes and asked. Shi Tianjiao, startled once again, tensed up. Quickly reminded him not to laugh. Pay attention to your attitude. These people are all part of the underworld. Their hands might be stained with blood. Crossing them won't end well for you. Zhao Ping'an held back his laughter. Considering Zhang Dangding has been doing well these past couple of days, he decided to say a bit more. He bluntly asked, "What do you need me for?" The burly man, seeing his casual attitude, lost his temper. He quickly raised his weapon, ready to strike. "Hold on," Bald Lu suddenly spoke up. Squinting his eyes, he stared intently at Zhao Ping'an. He said coldly, "Not afraid to see me, huh? Now that's a brave man. I'm someone who loves money. I'll give you a chance to be my underling. And you can avoid this disaster." As soon as he said this, the others quickly chimed in. "What are you waiting for? Big Bro is giving you a chance. Hurry up and kneel down to show respect. You can roll with the big boss. I promise you'll enjoy the good life afterward. Otherwise, you'll end up with broken legs today. Stop standing there like a fool." Shi Tianjiao twitched the corner of his mouth at those words. His lips tightened in response. He actually wanted to tell Zhao Ping'an to stay away from them. But then he thought about it. What if Zhao Ping'an ended up becoming part of the underworld? You can reach out to him if you run into trouble in the future. He also added some words of advice. Zhao Ping'an, this is your chance to prove you don't need to rely on others for support. Take this opportunity and quickly swear allegiance to the big brother. Zhao Ping'an glanced at him briefly. Then he turned his attention to Bald Lu. With a faint smile, he said, "If you want me to work under you, it's possible, but I suggest you first get in touch with Zhang Gangding and ask him if he dares to take me under his wing." As the words were spoken, The surroundings fell into complete silence. Zhang Gangbi, the mighty Dragon King. You must have a death wish. The burly man raised his weapon again. Hold on, Bald Lu interrupted once more. His brows furrowed deeply, taking another careful look at Zhao Ping'an from head to toe. When normal people hear their name, they usually tremble in fear. But he remained calm and fearless in the face of danger. He even directly mentioned Zhang Longwang's name. Unusual events always have a deeper reason behind them. Carefully inquired. Do you know the Dragon King? Zhao Ping'an replied succinctly. Ask him if he knows me. Upon hearing Zhao Ping'an's confirmation, everyone around gasped in shock. No wonder he didn't beg for mercy. So it turns out the man about to take action began to feel uneasy because he was facing someone of great importance. Qi Tianzhao's brows were knitted tightly. Could it be that he actually knows Zhang Longwang? Just then, the phone call connected. Bald Lu no longer carried the indifference he had earlier. He cautiously asked, Longwang, are you busy? Go ahead and speak? Zhang Dangtop said irritably that he had just spoken with Ouyang Hai and learned Zhao Ping'an's true identity. He was holding back a bellyful of anger. The shopkeeper said he was an honored guest. I thought he belonged to a prominent family. Turns out he met the shop owner while in prison. He was cleaning the shop owner's bathrooms. Even though the shop owner promised to take care of him, he certainly wouldn't personally act as his driver. Even went as far as using connections to block the airport. You have to realize he's the underground ruler of Tianhai. He felt deeply insulted. Yes, Bald Lu nodded repeatedly. He didn't dare to say another word. Here's the situation. I have someone here named Zhao Ping'an. He asked me to check with you. Do you happen to know him? Qi Tianzhao's heart suddenly skipped a beat. If Zhao Ping'an truly knows Zhang Gang, business will go much more smoothly in the future. Who is Zhao Ping'an? When Zhang Gang heard that name, he stood up in anger. He was burning with anger inside. And yet he still dared to walk right into trouble. Furiously, he said, what kind of person does he think he is? Is he even worthy of knowing me? How did it end up with you? Bald Lu, upon hearing this, lowered his voice slightly. Young Master Yu's order was to cripple his legs. Zhang Gangding thought for a moment. Let's pretend we know nothing about this. If the shop owner decides to hold someone accountable, admitting fault and apologizing should suffice. You wouldn't ruin yourself over some nobody, especially when the shop owner is already in jail. There's no guarantee anyone would even remember Zhao Ping'an in the future, he said in a deep voice to cripple him. Ended the call. Bald Lu heard the click of the call ending. A flash of murderous intent flickered in his eyes. He pushed the door open and stepped out of the car, watching Zhao Ping'an step closer, one step at a time. With a half-smile, he said, Little Zhang, the Dragon King mentioned. He intentionally paused for a moment, drawing everyone's attention. What did he say? Qi Tianzhao asked eagerly. He said he'd cripple you. Bald Lu's voice suddenly turned icy. With a sinister tone, he said, Kid, you actually dared to mess with me. I was going to give you a chance. And now, not only will your legs be crippled, but your limbs will be destroyed as well. What? Qi Tianzhao screamed in shock. He had been full of hope, only to face such an outcome. He should never have trusted him. Zhao Ping'an paused, stunned. Zhang Gungatang dared to demand I cripple myself for him. Bald Lu's eyes were filled with malice. He ordered, beat him mercilessly. Upon hearing the command, the 8 strong men hesitated no longer. They acted simultaneously, raising their weapons in unison, and launched their attack toward Zhao Ping'an. Every strike aimed directly at vital points. Bystanders, terrified, quickly stepped back. The greeter, panicked, ran back to the tea house. Qi Tianzhao was so frightened he froze in place. It all happened in a matter of seconds. All 8 men were sent flying backward. They fell to the ground howling in pain. A fighter of this caliber isn't even as good as the 4 bodyguards from yesterday. Dealing with them was effortless. This scene left everyone stunned. The bystanders were completely dumbfounded. The greeters were left in a daze. Qi Tianzhao couldn't even see how Zhao Ping'an made his move. Yet these people ended up falling. Zhang Dangjing called you a worthless person. Zhao Ping'an found it somewhat hard to believe. After all, just yesterday he had braved the rain to greet him. He had shown the utmost respect just a day ago. Turns out, he's someone skilled in martial arts. No wonder he acts so fearless. Bald Lu deliberately ignored Zhao Ping'an's question. His hands were clenched into fists. His entire body tensed with tightened muscles. It's just unfortunate that you ran into me. With that said, a punch was thrown straight at the face. As the underground emperor's leader, it's not just about having fame or status. It takes landing punch after punch to earn it. Back in the day, relying on a pair of iron fists, he helped Zhang Longwang secure control of 3 streets. One punch strong enough to knock down a bull. When he fought, his opponents were either crippled or severely injured. The applause erupted without any warning. Who gave you permission to fight back when asked a question? Zhao Ping'an slapped Bald Lu squarely across the face. Bald Lu froze in place. His fist was still raised in mid-air. He could clearly feel Zhao Ping'an's slap, but he didn't see how Zhao Ping'an moved. Zhao Ping'an slapped again as he spoke. Bald Lu stammered in confusion. Zhao Ping'an delivered one final slap. This time, it sent Bald Lu flying. Talking is just too exhausting. Too lazy to listen to Bald Lu lying motionless on the ground, constantly coughing up blood. The bloodstains even had a few broken molars in them. Zhao Ping'an turned his head to look at Qi Tianjiao again. Take me to find Zhang Gangbi. He disliked being unclear about things. If something happens, he needs to figure it out. Following his master's teachings. Finish today's tasks today. The Longting KTV is the most high-end entertainment venue in Tianhai City. Becoming the lowest-tier member requires spending over $1 million. Even so, it still takes a minimum expenditure of $1 million. Higher-tier membership, however, demands at least $7 million. This is because this establishment is one of the businesses owned by the underground emperor, Zhang Longwang. The private room labeled Earth. A group of young men and women sitting together. Yet no one was singing. The atmosphere was lifeless and dull. Sitting right in the center was Su Baoshi, eyes glowing crimson red, drinking one glass of wine after another, waiting for Bald Lu's response. In Tianhai and across the entire equestrian world, it has always been humans riding horses. But unexpectedly, I was the one being ridden by a horse. And that's not all. The horse treated me with utter humiliation. Brother Gemstone, stop drinking anymore. A girl nearby advised him not to harm his health. Su Baoshi slapped him across the face and told him to leave. Who are you to tell me what to do? Do you believe I'd end you? Still trembling in fear. Too scared to speak further. Just then, his phone started ringing. The contact name displayed as Dad-Father. He answered the call. On the other end was a deep male voice. I understand the situation. Come back first. Get ready to attend Miss Ye's meetup tonight. Su Baoshi has no choice but to agree. Quickly got up and headed downstairs. He walked outside as a Maserati pulled up. Saw the person stepping out of the car. With glaring eyes, he said Zhao Ping'an. He actually hasn't been taken down yet. What's the point of a bald head and no efficiency? The lazy Zhao Ping'an couldn't be bothered to respond to him. He quickly walked into the lobby. Su Baoshi clenched his fists tightly. He was so furious he wished he could charge forward and fight. But he was well aware of the gap between them. Charging ahead would only result in getting beaten. When he turned his head, he noticed Qi Tianjiao stepping out of the car. His eyes lit up at the sight. He walked over politely and said, Hello, miss. Are you a friend of Ping'an? My name is Su Baoshi, chairman of Tianlong Group. Su Tianlong is my father. I wonder if we could get acquainted. Revealing my identity has always been a winning move. Qi Tianjiao was stunned for 2 seconds. He quickly responded with excitement, saying, Hello, Mr. Su. I've heard so much about you. I am Qi Tianjiao, CEO of Qi Group. It's a pleasure to meet you. Zhao Ping'an had already arrived upstairs. He noticed the door to the innermost VIP private room. 2 bodyguards were standing there. If nothing unexpected happens, Zhang Gangding should be inside. Just as he was about to approach, someone called out. One of the bodyguards spoke coldly. Who are you? Zhao Ping'an responded simply. My name is Zhao Ping'an. The bodyguard heard this name. It felt vaguely familiar. He sized him up again, said, Wait here, and turned to report back to the private room. Inside the room, iron hooves echoed solidly, trampling across vast lands. I stood at the center of the storm, firmly grasping the spinning sun and moon. Zhang Dangding stood in the middle. Show off your singing talent. He really enjoys the song Borrow Another 500 Years from Heaven. Believes it carries the aura of an emperor. Noticed the bodyguard entering. Frowned and asked what's going on. Dislikes it the most when someone moves around casually while he's singing. The bodyguard bent down and said Dragon King, outside the door. There's someone named Zhao Ping'an. Looking for you, Zhao Ping'an. Him again. Zhang Dongding's face darkened. How does Bald Lu handle things? He was clearly told to take care of Zhao Ping'an. Yet he let him escape. And even allowed him to find his way here. Frustrated, he said to kick him out. Just tell him I'm not available. Taking care of him indirectly might smooth things over. If we deal with him personally. Complaining to the shop owner could easily cause trouble. The guard understood and turned his head. Just as he turned around, he noticed the door being pushed open. To his surprise, Zhao Ping'an walked in, rebuking him, saying you were told to wait outside. Who gave you permission to come in? Zhao Ping'an couldn't be bothered to respond to him. His eyes fixed on Zhang Danding. Didn't you see I just told someone to cripple me? Zhang Danding noticed his attitude. And his expression turned even darker. A petty criminal who only served 3 years actually dares to behave with such an attitude. His subordinates are mostly hardened criminals, serving over 10 years before being released. He really thinks too highly of himself. Waved his hand to stop the bodyguards from taking action. Calmly asked, "What brings you here? Speak quickly, I'm very busy." His attitude had clearly shifted. Zhao Ping'an remained unchanged. The issue has already been addressed peacefully. I don't want to repeat myself again. Hurry up and answer me, I'm in a rush. What did you just say? Zhang Danding erupted in fury. His imposing aura was fully unleashed. The temperature in the private room began to drop. He snarled fiercely, calling him a little punk. I take care of you. Only because I saw you cleaning the restroom for the owner. If we don't take the shopkeeper into account, you aren't even qualified to meet me. You show no gratitude for the kindness shown to you. Instead, you push your luck further. Do you think I, Zhang Longwan, have no temper at all? A small-time person like this is only fit to be a lackey's lackey. Who gave this lackey the nerve to show up uninvited? Zhao Ping'an suddenly saw the light. Originally, he was supposed to see himself as someone important, hoping to curry favor. So, they followed orders without question. Later, they somehow came across false information. They felt a sense of imbalance deep down. Too lazy to offer any explanation. Anyway, tonight they plan to break off the engagement with Ye Yaoqin. After that, they'll head to another city to end another engagement. There won't be any further connections. Casually remarked that your performance yesterday was decent. Letting you off the hook this time. We'll call it even. After finishing speaking, he prepared to leave. Stop right there, Zhang Gang was about to explode with anger. As the underground emperor, when had he ever been treated with such contempt? Let alone the fact that it was just a bit of luck that he happened to meet the shop owner. Such a worthless ant. He said with a murderous tone, you little punk. My patience with you has reached its limit. Only because of the shop owner's sake. I'll give you one last chance. Get on your knees and bow 3 times. Then disappear from my sight forever. And if you dare to report this to the owner, I'll make sure you're completely destroyed. Not teaching him a lesson makes it hard to suppress my anger. Zhao Ping'an turned his head. Some people really don't learn until they feel the pain. With a cold smirk, he said, what if I refuse to kneel? Without kneeling, Zhang Gangding squinted his eyes. From the ends of the earth, I will take your life. As soon as those words were spoken, Zhao Ping'an's figure flickered, appearing right in front of Zhang Gangding. Without any unnecessary moves, he kicked Zhang Gangding flying, sending him crashing heavily into a wall 5 meters away. Before Zhang Gangding's body could even slide down from the wall, Zhao Ping'an was once again right in front of him, gripping his neck with one hand, slamming him hard against the wall, calmly asking if he still intended to kill me. It all happened in an instant, like a flash of lightning. No one had time to react. Zhang Gang was completely stunned. His mind felt like it was struck by a thunderclap. For a moment, he forgot his neck was being gripped, and the suffocating sensation as his feet left the ground. His eyes filled with terror, looking at Zhao Ping'an. A sense of panic like never before. This kind of pressure was only ever seen on the store owner. Even the store owner couldn't make him feel this much pressure. Who exactly is he? The bodyguard, seeing this, was so frightened that his legs went weak, did not intervene, quickly turned around and walked out, pressing a very well-hidden button on the wall. The moment this button was pressed, the entire city of Tianhai, 8 karaoke bars and 20 nightclubs under Zhang Gangding's name, 14 lounges simultaneously sounded their alarms. 26 hall leaders under his command received the news at the same time. Leading hundreds of subordinates immediately grabbed their weapons and headed straight for Longting, the first-floor lobby. Qi Tianjia was reveling in his triumph. When exchanging phone numbers with Su Baoshi, he also mentioned finding time to have a meal together. If I could build a good relationship with him, the Qi family business could reach new heights. It's said that the Su family's Tianlong group might become Miss Ye's business partner. If he does become a partner, and I become his friend. Qi Tianjia grew more and more excited, feeling like life was about to improve. Just as he was thinking, he suddenly heard the sound of an alarm. Startled out of my wits. That's when I realized I had somehow, almost unknowingly, brought Zhao Ping in to find Zhang Longwang. What was that ringing sound about? Then I heard the sound of brakes from outside again. Instinctively looked over. Saw a row of cars pull up outside. Dozens of menacing figures, armed, stormed inside. And dashed upstairs. Could it be because of Zhao Ping'an? Thinking of this point, Qi Tianjiao was startled. Hurriedly exited the KTV. Just as he stepped out, he saw a scene he would never forget in his lifetime. On the road, vehicles with flashing hazard lights were rushing in from both sides. A quick glance showed at least 100 cars. The convoys quickly pulled up in front of the gate. The car doors opened simultaneously. Hundreds of men armed with weapons stormed into Long. The ceremony hadn't finished yet. The road was still filled with an endless line of cars. They sped forward with hazard lights flashing. Qi Tianjiao, terrified, hurriedly ran away. He hid among the crowd of onlookers. Someone mentioned that Zhang Longwan's alarm had gone off. The last time it sounded was 10 years ago. Could it be that person has returned? Qi Tianjiao overheard the discussions among the crowd. Nervously, he asked the man nearby, "What does the alarm going off mean?" This man, noticing his good looks, spoke seriously, saying, "I used to be in the mix back in the day, so I'm aware of the inside story. When the alarm sounds, it indicates an intruder has entered Longtian KTV and poses a threat to Zhang Longwan's life." Hearing the alarm, all the subordinates immediately rushed to provide support. You see, at least 2,000 people have arrived. If my guess is correct, it's that person returning to pose a threat to someone's life. Qi Tianjiao heard this phrase, and his face turned pale with fear. Could it be that Zhao Ping'an is threatening Zhang Longwan's life? He's gone mad and still wants to use his skills to win someone's heart. Continuing with the story from 10 years ago, Qi Tianjiao had no interest in listening. Overwhelmed with panic. Is Zhao Ping'an still alive? After some thought, he decided to find Su Baoshi. Inside the private room, Zhao Ping'an let go of Zhang Gang's collar. Originally planned to kill him. But the master said that killing harms one's karma, and it would damage blessings, so he decided to spare him. Calmly stated that the death penalty could be avoided, but punishment would still be inevitable. After speaking, it was like passing the buck, kicking Zhang Gang straight out the door. Coincidentally, over 20 hall leaders rushed into the corridor. The agitated Dragon King Zhang curled his body tightly. He kept retching repeatedly. Stomach acid spilled all over the floor. He looked utterly disheveled. These hall leaders gathered around the Dragon King. "Are you all right?" Helping the Dragon King to the back, the brothers stood together, ready their weapons for the Dragon King. In the corridor behind the 20 or so hall leaders, there stood a dense crowd of underlings. At least 100 people heard the command, and immediately grabbed their weapons, standing at the ready. Fixing their gaze firmly on the door, Zhao Ping'an walked out slowly. He saw the scene in the corridor, and gave a faint smile. Not the least bit surprising. Just heard the sound of footsteps. Could tell there were quite a few people coming. What's in sight is only a small portion. There are probably even more people downstairs. But no matter how many ordinary people there are, they're still just a bunch of insignificant ants. Whether it's a casual one-on-one, or a group fight, they all saw Zhao Ping'an. Everyone froze at the same moment. Who is this guy? Never seen him before. They thought it was that person coming back. Why is there a young man standing here? Could he be one of that person's followers? The leader picked up the weapon in his hand. To boost morale, he sneered and said, "Fine. I challenge you to a duel." "You are not worthy," Zhao Ping'an stated plainly. "What I mean by a one-on-one fight is that I'll take on all of you myself. A group fight means all of you will be defeated by me at once." As soon as these words were spoken, everyone was so enraged that their eyes seemed ready to burst. What an arrogant remark. Such shamelessness has never been seen before. A mere brat. Courting death, the leading hallmaster instantly charged forward alone. He was just 2 steps away. The body leaped high into the air. Both hands gripped the knife, charging straight at Zhao Ping'an, swinging down towards the head. This strike landed directly, capable of splitting a person cleanly in two. Zhao Ping'an shook his head, thinking it was too ordinary. It's true that nothing outside compares to the fun inside the prison. From this perspective, Mingdu prison isn't so bad after all. With a swift kick, the sect leader was sent flying backward in midair, moving even faster than when he charged forward, flung backward through the air, crashing heavily into the crowd. The crowd was hit with immense force. The dozen or so leaders at the front spat blood on the spot from the impact. Nearly 100 followers in the back lost control of their bodies after being struck, even took a step back unexpectedly. They struggled to maintain their balance, toppling over each other as they leaned backward. In the blink of an eye, the corridor, dozens of meters long, had not a single person left standing. At the very back of the crowd, Zhang Longwang, who was waiting for the elevator to go downstairs, witnessed the scene. A faint, almost choking sound escaped his lips. His eyes were filled with sheer terror. Every pore on his body seemed to burst open. Cold sweat drenched him from head to toe in an instant. With just one kick, half of the hall masters were rendered useless, taking down 100 minions. A monster Zhao Ping'an stepped over these people, walking while laughing, saying, "Don't run. Just as you said. To the ends of the earth. Killing you might let you escape for a moment, but you can't run forever." Zhang, seeing him approach with a smile, his pants were already damp, feeling death drawing near. As the underground kingpin, even with a gun pointed at his head, he wouldn't so much as flinch. Death isn't frightening. What's truly terrifying is despair. He is overwhelmingly powerful, so intimidating that one questions who he truly is. "You can't kill me. If you do, the boss won't let it slide." Zhao Ping'an raised an eyebrow. "In your words, your shop owner is the one cleaning toilets for me. Why can't he just leave me alone?" What Zhang Dangding felt was a chilling sensation. It surged from the soles of his feet to the top of his head. His soul was trembling in fear. The shop owner had already become a godlike figure. In this country, he was also someone at the top of the pyramid. Yet he was cleaning toilets for him. No wonder he seemed so unremarkable. Returning to simplicity and authenticity, without a moment of hesitation, dropping to his knees, kneeling on the ground. "Mr. Zhao, I was wrong. I beg you to give me another chance. From this moment forward, I will be as loyal as a dog to you." Witnessing this scene, everyone in the hallway was stunned. The shock made him stop breathing. Zhao Ping'an heard him imitating a dog's bark. Suddenly, he remembered that there was once someone in prison who also barked like a dog. Sun Lian Kuei, in his 60s, acted like a dog for 2 years and was then released on medical parole. Not sure if he's still alive or not. He shook his head to clear his thoughts that had wandered. Looked at Zhang Gangding in front of him. "Forgiving you isn't entirely out of the question. Do you think an old turtle could cross the river? His name is Dragon King. Having him cross the river like an old turtle is the best choice. It's been a few days since anyone played with him. Still feeling a bit nostalgic about it." Zhang Gangting immediately lay flat on the ground. His arms slipped through his thighs, lying with all 4 limbs up in the air, rubbing his back against the ground, looking just like a flipped turtle. At this very moment, Zhang Gang stood firm, showing no trace of being a powerless figure. He gave a flattering smile and said, "Mr. Zhao, will this work?" As he spoke, he twisted his body a few more times. The Zhao Ping'an in front of him was someone even more powerful than the shop owner. As long as he could satisfy him, achieving success and glory wouldn't be an issue. "You've learned quite well." Zhao Ping'an smiled faintly. "But are you planning to kill me? Forgiving you isn't that simple." The old turtle went to the first floor and kept singing "Forgive." Zhang Gang's lip twitched slightly. It was crystal clear in his mind. There were thousands of underlings downstairs. If this behavior continues, how could anyone face others in the future? But then he recalled the owner mocking him in the restroom. "As long as Mr. Zhao is happy, I will do everything in my power." Zhang Dangding maintained a posture like an old master. He shuffled along while humming a tune. The sound of iron heels echoed clearly. He shuffled his way to the staircase. He inched his way down to the first floor. Everywhere he passed, the younger members couldn't help but be dumbfounded. This was the mighty underground emperor of Tianhai city. Yet he was acting like this in front of this young man. Who in the world is he? Under the watchful eyes of thousands, Zhang Dangding crept to the doorway. Mr. Zhao, are you satisfied? As he was leaving, Zhao Pingan waved his hand. He was about to depart. Mr. Zhao, Zhang Dangding spoke up again. Forcing a laugh, he said, if you ever need a car, please call on me. I'd love to be your driver. Only then did Zhao Pingan remember the time he rode in Qi Tianjiao's car. These days, he has no idea where to go. Casually mentioned driving. Zhang Dangding immediately stood up to drive. The entire crowd fell into a dead silence. Qi Tianjiao held a phone in his hand, struggled to speak and said, Young Master Su. Zhao Pingan was trapped by Dragon King Zhang in the Dragon Pavilion. Could you please save him? He couldn't bear to see Zhao Pingan lose his life, but he lacked the ability to save him. Originally wanted to inform Ouyang Qian, but couldn't get in touch. Could only find the most powerful person, which happened to be the newly acquainted Su Baosher. Su Baosher's face lit up with joy upon hearing this. Zhang Longwang would never target Zhao Pingan. That little punk must have been dealt with by Bald Lu. Cleared his throat. Complained, saying, why did you take so long to call me? Wait for me, I'll go find Zhang Longwang right away. Don't worry, he hung up the phone. He slipped it directly back into his pocket. A sly grin appeared on his face. What does the life or death of Zhao have to do with me? But I will make sure to comfort you properly. If it weren't for needing to attend Miss Ye's meetup today, I would take you to the hotel right now to console him. As he was thinking, a middle-aged man in a tailored suit approached. This man was none other than his father, the newly established leader of the Tianhai elite circle, president of Tianlong Group, Xu Tianlong. Xu Tianlong spoke in a deep tone. Let's go and attend Miss Ye's meet and greet. Get into the right mindset. As far as I know, Miss Ye Yaoqin is still unmarried. Su Baosher's eyes lit up. So you mean to say? Xu Tianlong narrowed his eyes slightly, exuding the aura of a successful individual. Across the entire Tianhai city, the only ones qualified to compete for the partnership are just me and Ouyang Hai. And since you're a man, Miss Ye has about a 90% chance of choosing us. Once we become partners, you need to make an effort to strengthen your relationship with Miss Ye. Got it? Su Baosher was thrilled at the thought of getting closer to Ye Yaoqin. His heart was racing with excitement. After all, she's a treasure. Miss Ye thought for a moment. She asked about Ouyang Qian. She spent a year attentively caring for Ouyang Qian. She believed using Master Gu could help win her heart. But unexpectedly, someone else came out of nowhere and disrupted everything. It threw everything into chaos. Too much time was wasted not getting Ouyang Qian into bed. Unwilling to accept this, Su Tianlong gave a faint smile and said it wouldn't cause any delay. I've already asked Master Gu to invite his senior brother. They will cast another spell on Ouyang Qian. This time, failure is not an option. When the time comes, Ouyang Qian's old illness will flare up again. Once again, she is his destined soulmate. Seize the chance to win him over. Keep your relationship with him more discreet in the future. Even if Ouyang Hai finds out, he would have no choice but to silently endure it. He paused for a moment and added, all right. What's the situation with that guy named Zhao Pingan? On the way back, Su Baosher mentioned it. Have Bald Lu take action. Su Baosher proudly remarked that he was just about to say it. Already cornered by Bald Lu at the Longting Club, his days are numbered. Capable of charming Yaoqin Yi. Able to maintain a connection with Ouyang Qian. And even console Qi Tianjiao. These three women are all stunning beauties. Just the thought of it brings joy. Let's go, Su Tianlong nodded. He took the lead and stepped outside. Got into the car and drove out of the villa's courtyard. A Rolls-Royce happened to be coming straight toward them. Su Tianlong noticed the license plate. It was immediately clear that it was Zhang Longwang's car. Quickly move aside to make way. The driver swiftly pulled over to the side. The Rolls-Royce brushed past them. Su Baosher shuddered in fear. Su Tianlong sensed something unusual. Su Baosher gave a bitter smile and shook his head. Just now, the person in the back seat looked a lot like Zhao Pingan. I thought it was him. But after thinking about it, I realized it couldn't be him. He must be dead. Su Tianlong didn't give it much thought. Because it was impossible. At that moment, Su Baosher's phone rang. He saw that it was Qi Tianjiao. He immediately changed his tone and said, Miss Qi. I'm really sorry, thank you. Qi Tianjiao didn't let him finish speaking. Yet he became increasingly emotional as he began to speak. Because it was just a moment ago. The crowd dispersed. The matter came to an end. He cautiously reached out to Zhao Pingan. And discovered that everything was fine. And all of this must be thanks to Su Baosher's efforts. This incident once again proved the rising power of the Su family as a new elite household. Qi Tianjiao continued and said to Mr. Su, "We just met today. And you're already willing to lend me a hand. You truly are a kind person. If it weren't for your timely help, Zhao Ping'an would never have made it out of Longting. When do you have some free time? I'd like to treat you to a meal to show my gratitude." Over the meal, we could also discuss potential collaboration. Hearing this, Su Baoshi responded, frozen in shock like a statue. Zhao Ping'an is still alive. Could it be that I didn't see it wrong just now? It's impossible. The Cloud Palace. Zhao Ping'an originally had no plans to come back, but he had promised to accompany her to the banquet, so he had no choice but to return. As soon as he pushed the door open and stepped inside, he immediately froze in place. In the living room, Ye Yaoqin was unexpectedly changing clothes, wearing a fitted pencil skirt on the lower body. It was simply just a short skirt. Her long legs were exposed while the upper body remained uncovered. Ye Yaoqin was quite surprised to see him come in, but she quickly adjusted to the situation. She raised one hand to shield herself. With a smile, she said, "Brother, you came back at just the right time. Help me decide. Which one looks better?" He picked up a few pieces of close-fitting clothing, kept gesturing non-stop. Zhao Ping'an had never witnessed such a scene before. She felt a sudden rush of warmth in his nose, raised his hand to press on the pressure point to stop it, quickly turned around. Ye Yaoqin said with a hint of resentment, feeling shy now, "It's not like you haven't seen it before. Hurry up and help me pick one. You're really making it hard for your sister." Ding Chuan cursed silently in his heart. The working-class hero Kai Chongyang, "There's a pet canary at home. Even ended up in prison," said in a deep voice to stop the commotion. "You're my sister-in-law. Mingdu prison." He's the youngest of the group. It's not too much to call her sister-in-law. This was said to set clear boundaries. Ye Yaoqin paused for a moment. Then, with a touch of resentment, she said, "Don't you want to eat dumplings?" Zhao Ping'an felt his body was out of his control again. He quickly ran out of the villa. Ye Yaoqin was amused to the point of bursting into laughter. About 5 minutes later, Ye Yaoqin got dressed and walked out of the heavenly palace. Her face was filled with frustration. "How's the driving going? You drove while taking your sister-in-law along. As long as you drive well, your sister-in-law will even cook meals for you." Zhao Ping'an grabbed the car keys, taking on the role of the driver, heading to Tianhai Hotel, where Ye Yaoqin was returning. Ye Yaoqin's meet and greet event. This request was for Tianhai Hotel, the largest hotel in Tianhai City. Almost all major events take place here. Ye Yaoqin's meet and greet was no exception. At this moment, luxury cars were gathered downstairs. Upstairs, the place was packed with distinguished guests. Those invited included not only the prominent families of Tianhai, but also influential figures from the provincial capital in Beijing who came to show their support. Zhao Ping'an parked his car in the lot and went upstairs together with Ye Yaoqin. Ye Yaoqin was observing everything along the way. Zhao Ping'an noticed her calm and composed demeanor, and secretly nodded in approval. She truly lived up to being someone who could make Kai Chongyang lend out his villa. Facing such a grand scene, there wasn't the slightest hint of panic. She raised her hand and gently linked arms with Zhao Ping'an. She tentatively asked again, "Brother? Inside, everyone is either wealthy or influential. Aren't you nervous at all? Why do I feel a bit uneasy deep down?" Zhao Ping'an's expression remained calm and composed. He didn't brush her away. After all, he was attending as her companion. He reassured her, "There's no need to be afraid. As long as I'm here, no one will lay a hand on you today. This is Ye Yaoqin's meet and greet, and I came here to break off the engagement with him." Before breaking off the engagement, he was still considered the man of the house. Ye Yaoqin blinked her eyes, transforming into a little fangirl. "Brother, you're so manly. Hearing your words, I suddenly feel like leaning on you and never moving again." Zhao Ping'an felt utterly exasperated. A furious shout suddenly echoed from the banquet hall. A figure stormed over with an overpowering presence. It was no one else. It was none other than Mr. Wang, who had collaborated with Qi Tianjiao. Accompanying his angry shout, most of the guests in the banquet hall turned to look. Mr. Wang lashed out, calling him a massive fraud. The criminal actually dared to show up here and act so brazenly. "I thought you were someone important. I never expected you to be a petty thief just out of prison." He had just gone to toast Ouyang Hai, and casually mentioned Zhao Ping'an. Who would have thought Ouyang Hai's face would turn icy? He even said mentioning that person was disgusting. And subtly hinted at it. That he had just gotten out of Zhao Pingan's prison. Recalling what happened during the day. His heart burned with rage. Brother, it seems like you've run into an enemy. Ye Yao gently reminded in a low voice. Zhao Pingan frowned slightly. Watching Mr. Wang approach, I hurried forward. Lower your voice. It was deafening as Mr. Wang let out a cold snort. Talking to someone like you, a disgrace to society. There's no need to speak quietly. I intend to say it loud and clear. I want everyone to hear it. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the fraud. He swindled me out of tens of millions through a contract. And he even portrayed himself as someone important. If I'm not mistaken, he came here tonight with the sole purpose of scamming. Everyone turned to look over. There was a moment of surprise. A scammer, a scammer. How did he even get in? Judging by his plain clothing, he's clearly at the bottom rung of society. The scammer was caught red-handed. This is going to be interesting to watch. Zhao Pingan furrowed his brows even deeper. In a cold tone, he said, Mr. Wang, you need to back up your words with evidence. How exactly did I deceive you? Mr. Wang's lips twitched at the mention of evidence. There really isn't any. Because signing the contract with Qi Tian was done willingly. After a moment of thought, he sneered, saying it would be easy to provide evidence. Given your status, you're simply not qualified to step foot in here. Yet you actually showed up. Where's your invitation? Hand it over. As for Ye Yaoqin by your side. He completely ignored her. Con artists are best at deceiving women. Bringing a beautiful woman here to make yourself look better makes it easier to pull off the scam. Without Zhao Pingan's calm and composed demeanor. However, I am not here to attend the meet and greet. Instead, I came to see Ye Yaoqin. As soon as these words were spoken, everyone present froze for a moment, but quickly burst into loud laughter. He actually dared to claim he came to see Ye Yaoqin. A fraud like him has no right to use such low tactics. He must have overheard me yesterday mentioning Yi. Miss Yi is coming to Tianhai. So, the intention is to deceive. Lu Yi wasn't standing far away. Mockingly remarked about someone who just got out of prison. Their mental state is indeed questionable. And their thinking seems off as well. Ouyang Hai, standing nearby, shook his head. Yesterday, Zhao Pingan's words were sharp. Something about it felt unusual. No normal person would dare to show such disrespect. Now, it seems the issue is indeed serious. He might have been beaten up in prison. Ouyang Qian stood on the other side. Dressed in an evening gown. Pure and stunning. Truly deserving of her title as the most beautiful woman in Tianhai. At this moment, she was staring coldly at Ouyang's brother. Is this your son-in-law? He doesn't seem that impressive. Su Tianlong was standing there as well. Ouyang Hai quickly reminded brother Su to watch his words. My family has nothing to do with him. Just now, I subtly asked about the relationship between Zhao Pingan and Zhang Longwang. I found out that they indeed know each other. But they are not close. It's because Zhao Pingan is thick-skinned. And he bothers Zhang Longwang. Zhang Longwang doesn't like him either. That put my mind at ease. Su Tianlong gave a knowing smile. Glanced at Su Baosher's son nearby. The chances are quite high. You silly dog at the door. It cracked me up. Do you really think you can frame Miss Yi? President Wang burst into laughter. Remarked mockingly. Do you even know that Miss Yi is a prestigious lady from the imperial capital? A lady of noble birth. Why don't you take a good look at yourself? What kind of person am I? Am I even worthy of knowing Miss Yi? These words triggered another burst of laughter. Ye Yaoqin was also quite surprised. He came looking for me. But he quickly figured it out. Perhaps it was the corporate kingpin Kai Chongyang who sent him here. After all, finding a job after getting out of prison isn't easy. Zhao Pingan's face darkened. In a cold tone, he said Miss Ye Yaoqin could come out and verify it on the spot. And you keep laughing. I don't mind making sure you can't close your mouth for the rest of your life. Mr. Wang caught his gaze. For some reason, it felt like being stared down by a demon. A chilling wind swept through. For a moment, he didn't dare to speak. At that moment, a thunderous shout erupted from the banquet hall, seeking attention. It was none other than Su Baosher. Though it was unclear why he hadn't been beaten to death. But his father had instructed him to cozy up to Miss Yi and Zhao Pingan. Once again, Ye Yaoqin was brought up. This is a perfect opportunity to showcase one's abilities. Mockingly remarked about someone with the last name Zhao. Yesterday at Uncle Ouyang's house, they try to draw attention to themselves, claim to have a marriage arrangement with Yaoqin, and now they show up here, making a fool of themselves again. It seems they truly can't change their ways. As soon as the words were spoken, before Zhao Ping'an could respond, the banquet hall erupted into chaos. What, he has a marriage agreement with Yaoqin? How could Yaoqin possibly be interested in him? No way, President Yang. Could it be fake? Everyone turned to look at Tianhai at the same time. Tianhai was so angry he gritted his teeth. Talk about hitting a nerve at the worst time. He immediately clarified that it was fake. Of course it's fake. This guy pretended to be an expert yesterday to treat my daughter's illness. They even brought up the marriage agreement my father supposedly arranged in the past. They presented a marriage contract. The moment I saw it, I could tell it was fake. I was immediately thrown out on the spot. In a situation like this, of course, I couldn't admit it. Lu Yi wasn't worried about whether others believed him or not. He anxiously added that Mr. Wang just said earlier he was a fraud, and that he had been released from prison. Someone like that is capable of doing anything. Marriage fraud would be the most ordinary thing for him. And then yesterday, we were treating Qianqian's illness. Almost ended up causing her harm instead. We chose to let bygones be bygones. Yet he still had the audacity to show up. Absolutely disgusting. Where are the security guards? Get him kicked out immediately. Zhao Ping'an sneered, fixing his gaze on this family. Truly ungrateful beyond belief. Blasted away again. I'll handle this here. Su Baosher gave a faint smile. Deliberately brought up the engagement. It was to make Yaoqin publicly deny it in front of everyone. To humiliate Zhao Ping'an. And to show off his capabilities in front of Miss Ye. Zhao Ping'an cannot be let off easily as a stepping stone. Acting all superior again, aren't you? The surname Zhao, now everyone knows you're a fraud. You can't fool anyone here. But I understand you. This kind of person won't stop until they get what they want. Absolutely disgusting. Go ahead and say what you want, so you can get out of Miss Ye's sight. I'll speak on behalf of Miss Ye to meet your demands. The crowd exchanged glances with one another. Everyone knew he was deliberately showing off, trying to get Miss Ye's attention. He secretly felt a sense of admiration in his heart. Truly worthy of being the heir to a newly established wealthy family. The clever Su Tianlong also gave a slight nod. The Su family's future looks promising. Ye Yaoqin finally couldn't hold back and spoke up. Are you qualified to represent Miss Ye? Su Baosher instinctively glanced over. Only then did he take a good look at Ye Yaoqin. His expression was instantly mesmerized by her beauty. Why? The women around Zhao Ping'an are all breathtakingly beautiful. Even if it means going to great lengths to get him into bed. Su Baosher declared proudly. Of course, as the heir to the Tianlong group, I am also a distinguished guest personally invited by Miss Ye. If I'm not worthy, then how could a foul-mouthed woman like you be? The people around Zhao Ping'an aren't worth paying attention to. And when it comes to mentioning status again, it's clearly intended to draw attention. Qi Tianjie was immediately drawn in by the mention of status. Everyone watched with a hint of amusement. If it were young Master Yi from the capital, he might still stand a chance. But if it's Miss Yi, he's truly unworthy. She, however, seems like a good match for him. Ye Yaoqin's face darkened. Before she could say anything, he apologized to her. Zhao Ping'an suddenly spoke up. Aside from coming to break off the engagement, it only made things harder for my sister-in-law. Before stepping in, they even promised to protect her. Su Baosher shifted his gaze back to Zhao Ping'an. Scoffing, he said, what are you even talking about? Who gave you the nerve to demand an apology from me? Is he worthy? Are you worthy? But didn't even finish the sentence. Zhao Ping'an quickly stepped forward, grabbing him by the neck. With a blank expression, kneeling down and apologizing with his head bowed. Su Baosher was instantly suffocated by the grip. His eyes filled with astonishment. He never imagined he would dare to act in such a situation, clearly sensing the aura of death lingering around. But once he knelt down, all his previous efforts would be in vain. Everyone in the hall was stunned. No one expected Zhao Ping'an to make a move. Let go of my gemstone, or I'll obliterate you. Su Tianlong was the first to regain his composure. He shouted in panic. Release young Master Su. If you dare to harm even a hair on young Master Su, I'll make sure you leave here lying down. Yaoqin also spoke up. This is Miss Ye's banquet. Order must be maintained. Zhao Ping'an acted as if he didn't hear anything. His grip grew stronger and stronger. Su Baoshi's eyes started to roll back. Ouyang Qian, who had been silent until now, stepped forward. Her brows were tightly furrowed. Does Zhao Ping'an even understand what kind of occasion this is? All the influential figures of Tianhai are present here. How dare you behave so recklessly? Let go now. Do you dare to harm young Master Su? You are not just going against all of Tianhai. Still choosing to go against Miss Yi. Do you have a death wish? Zhao Ping'an sneered. He refuses to apologize. Don't just mention opposing Miss Yi from Tianhai. Even if it means standing against the entire world, so be it. That's simply how he is. He can tolerate some grievances himself, but he won't allow the people around him to suffer even a little. The entire crowd felt as if they had been struck by lightning. A lunatic truly lives up to the name. Arrogance knows no bounds. No wonder they ended up in jail. Ye Yaoqin felt an inexplicable impact in her heart. Biting her lip, she looked toward Zhao Ping'an. He actually said that for her. With arched eyebrows, she screamed in anger. Her eyes widened in fury as she spoke. You despicable lowlife. How dare you stand up to my daughter for the sake of some worthless woman? Yaoqin Yi suddenly turned her gaze over. Is that not acceptable? Shut up, Lu Yumei snapped, furious. Who are you to even deserve to speak with me? Ping'an Zhao responded quietly. Let him know. Tonight, I'll make sure you're worthy of speaking to anyone. Yaoqin Yi faced everyone directly and said each word clearly. My name is Yaoqin Yi. So your name is Ye Yaoqin. I will remember you. What Lu Yi did wasn't an unconscious threat, but before the words could even be spoken, suddenly snapped back to reality. Let out a sharp scream. Eyes widened as if they were about to pop out of the sockets. Ye Yaoqin, the young lady of the Yi family in the imperial capital. Just 5 simple words. Yet they thundered in everyone's ears like 5 muffled booms. Everyone was left utterly stunned. Su Tianlong was in shock. What? Beads of sweat instantly formed on Ouyang Hai's forehead. So you're Ouyang Qian. His face turned completely pale. She looked utterly horrified. Zhao Ping'an was also taken aback. He slowly turned his head to look at Ye Yaoqin. She is Ye Yaoqin. Wasn't she the golden canary kept by Kai Chongyang? Could it be that she is being kept as a mistress? Ye Yaoqin took another step forward. She no longer concealed herself, unleashing the full aura of a noble lady from a prominent family. She looked directly at Lu Yi. Am I not worthy enough? Lu Yi didn't break down crying. She retreated to stand by her husband, not even daring to lift her head again. She trembled as she spoke. I am completely unworthy. The perfect match, but I am not deserving. Ouyang Qian turned to face everyone again. Who would dare let him die? The sound of muffled thunder echoed once more in everyone's minds. Breathing began to feel unnatural. Mr. Wang, who had been standing nearby, collapsed to the ground in fear. Everyone instinctively moved away from Su Tianlong and Ouyang Hai. Ouyang called me for a long time but still didn't know what to say. Even though he was the richest man in Tianhai City, he was still far too insignificant compared to the Yi family. It was completely unexpected that the woman by Zhao Ping'an's side could actually be Ye Yaoqin. Su Tianlong was on the verge of tears. Miss Yi, failing to teach is a father's fault. This is entirely my mistake. I, Su, am willing to accept any punishment. But could you please release my son first, so he can kneel before you and apologize? The son was still being squeezed by Zhao Ping'an, nearly on the verge of death. Ye Yaoqin let out a cold sneer. Even though there was family backing her, she didn't want to cause trouble right after meeting for the first time. Turning to look at Zhao Ping'an, the imposing aura around her instantly disappeared, and she returned to being the gentle sister-in-law. Ping'an, let him go. He's not worth dirtying your hands over. These words made everyone's hearts race chaotically. What exactly is the relationship between these two? Zhao Ping'an is still incredibly strong. He is Ye Yaoqin. What kind of marriage arrangements did that old man set up? One fiancé arrogantly took the initiative to break off the engagement. The second fiancé, a frail invalid, openly announced a husband's selection. The third fiancé is Yuhan Antian. Still, a golden retriever kept by someone else. Who knows if the remaining 6 fiancés are also eccentric in their own way. Su Baoshi can finally breathe freely. No longer the image of an aloof young master. Collapsed on the ground, retching uncontrollably. Vomiting stomach fluids and bile all over the floor. Su Tianlong strode over quickly, kicking Su Baoshi hard with 2 fierce blows. Still have the audacity to vomit. Hurry up and kneel to apologize to Miss Yi. If you can't earn Miss Ye's forgiveness, I'll personally break your worthless legs. Su Baoshi didn't dare to resist. Dropped to the ground quickly to apologize. I was wrong. Su Tianlong added with a flattering tone. Miss Ye, my son failed to recognize true value. He admires you deeply. He is eager to assist you in addressing some issues. I hope you won't take offense. Mr. Zhao was quite rude earlier. I hope you can forgive him. Zhao Ping'an gave a cold smile. The purpose of coming here today is to call off the engagement. Ye Yaoqin acted as if she hadn't heard. She turned to Zhao Ping'an and said, Ping'an, stay here for now. I'll go change into a different outfit. He originally planned to change clothes at the Yunding Heavenly Palace. But Zhao Ping'an returned, disrupting his plan. Alright, Zhao Ping'an replied briefly. There are too many people here. It's inconvenient to wait until the banquet is over. Privately breaking off the engagement. After Ye Yaoqin left, the banquet hall instantly erupted in chatter. Everyone was speculating about Zhao Ping'an's identity, wondering why he had come with Miss Ye, and whether he had really just been released from prison. Some people were even gloating. Su Baoshi still tried to steal the spotlight, flattering the wrong way and embarrassing himself. Of course, more people approached Zhao Ping'an to toast him, trying to make oneself recognizable. Mr. Zhao, I was wrong. Mr. Wang got up from the ground, apologizing with a sorrowful look. He's going to regret it deeply. If only he had known earlier, he would have never resorted to insults. He'd be too busy trying to curry favor. Leave, Zhao Ping'an said just one word. In the distance, Su Tianlong appeared with Su Baoshi. He approached Oyanghai with an imposing demeanor. I am almost at Brother Ouyang's place. People cross paths frequently in such close quarters. The children are even closer friends with one another. There's no need to trip me up like this. In his eyes, Zhao Ping'an nearly became Oyanghai's son-in-law. How could he possibly be unaware of Zhao Ping'an's true identity? Everything before had been an intentional act. The purpose was to lure me into the trap. Held a grudge by Miss Ye. Unable to cooperate. If I had known I would be threatening Zhao Ping'an earlier. Oyanghai regretted it in his heart too. Had I known Zhao Ping'an was acquainted with Ye Yaoqin, I would never have driven him out. I would have immediately arranged for the two to marry. It was merely a strategy. Choosing the lesser of two evils. Judging from the outcome, I suffered a greater loss. Su Tianlong was extremely resolute. We truly had no idea. Lu Yanmei was very uneasy. Feeling uneasy, she was a bit worried about how the meeting would go. Would Ye Yaoqin retaliate? After all, he had just been threatened earlier. But I almost lost my life. Su Baoshi clenched his fists tightly. All of this was just a coincidence. Ouyang Qian suddenly spoke up. She glanced at Zhao Ping'an, who was surrounded by a crowd like a star among the moon. Then she shifted her gaze back, and firmly said, Mom and Dad. Uncle Su, Zhao Ping'an doesn't know Ye Yaoqin. And Ye Yaoqin doesn't know Zhao Ping'an either. The group looked at him with puzzled expressions. Ouyang Qian's face remained emotionless. Have you all forgotten? That in the beginning, Zhao Ping'an kept insisting that Ye Yaoqin should step out. When Ye Yaoqin revealed her identity, Zhao Ping'an was stunned. Upon hearing this, the four of them thought back for a moment. It really was the case. They had been too scared earlier to think clearly. Turns out he was just a nobody. He might have run into her at the door. Miss Ye was incredibly lucky. Su Baoshi gritted his teeth in frustration. If Zhao Ping'an hadn't met Ye Yaoqin, today he would surely be forced to crawl out on his knees. It turned out to be a misunderstanding. Su Tianlong was the first to laugh and speak. At that very moment, a group of people walked in through the doorway. Each one was dressed in an extraordinary manner. Everyone present was aware. There wasn't a single businessman among them. They were all individuals holding power in the provincial capital. There are provincial officials. There is a station commander. The revered figure of Tianhai City can only stay in the background. They are all here to support Ye Yaoqin. Their identities are quite unique, which is why they hadn't appeared earlier. Now that they've shown up, it signals the official beginning of the meeting. As expected, once they took their places, the lights in the venue suddenly dimmed. A beam of light illuminated the side of the stage. Yaoqin Yi, dressed in an evening gown, gracefully stepped onto the stage. Her flawless complexion was like ice and jade. Her beauty could captivate an entire nation. Everyone was completely mesmerized by her. In terms of beauty, she was on par with Tianhai's most stunning woman, Qian Ouyang. Qian Ouyang furrowed her brows slightly. She wasn't sure why, but she glanced at Ping and Zhao again, and noticed that Ping and Zhao was just as captivated. A deeper furrow appeared on the brow. Ye Yao was invited to step up to the stage microphone. Good evening, everyone. Thank you all for taking the time out of your busy schedules to join me at my meet and greet. He gave a brief opening remark, receiving thunderous applause. He continued, saying that this time he came to Tianhai with the responsibility of securing investments, and that investments require choosing someone exceptional and wise. An exceptional partner. Previously, I hadn't chosen anyone. Just a day ago. I think I've found the answer. That's what he said. Ye Yaoqin deliberately paused for a moment, but his pause made everyone's hearts skip a beat. Tianhai instinctively straightened his chest. Su Tianlong held his breath, ready for whatever comes next. In fact, they were just a little worried. After all, Zhao Ping'an went in with him. What if he chooses Zhao Ping'an? But upon hearing words like outstanding, wise, and exceptional, it became clear that it couldn't be Zhao Ping'an. He had just been released from prison. He's nothing more than a criminal. Those words just don't match him at all. Will he still be the one chosen between the two of them? Ye Yaoqin wasn't joking after all. Ying glanced in the direction of Ouyang and Su Tianlong. That look stirred deep emotions in both of them. It must be us. It must be us. Lu Yi couldn't help but mutter softly. Although he had just offended Miss Yi, the Su family's offense was even more severe. It's us, it's us. Su Baosher's face flushed with excitement. Although he had just offended Miss Yi. However, he also noticed the center. It might be because the center chose the Su family. He is a young man. Ye Yaoqin continued. Su Baosher felt his entire body freeze as if his blood stopped flowing. He stared blankly upward at Ye Yaoqin. It wasn't his father. It was that his happiness had come too suddenly. Su Tianlong's face was also glowing with joy. He glanced over, filled with excitement. The son has achieved success. First, become a partner. Then become the other half. Su Jia is ready to soar. Ouyang gritted his teeth and glanced at his daughter. Could it possibly be Qian? Ye Yaoqin continued speaking. He kept on talking. His gaze suddenly shifted, looking at Zhao Ping'an. Zhao Ping'an and Su Bao were dumbfounded. Su Tianlong's smile froze. Ouyang was left staring in disbelief. Lu Yi was nowhere to be seen. Ouyang Qian looked as if she had seen a ghost. She felt as though something had gone missing. How is this even possible? A petty crook who just got out of prison somehow turned into Miss Ye's business partner. The banquet hall erupted in thunderous applause. Everyone turned their attention to Zhao Ping'an. Mr. Zhao. I collaborated with Miss Qi. Mr. Wang looked utterly devastated. He started trying to build connections. Regret grew stronger in his heart. Zhao Ping'an completely ignored what Mr. Wang was saying. He looked at Ye Yaoqin in surprise. I am here to call off the engagement. This isn't about becoming a partner. Ye Yaoqin smiled as she spoke. Ping'an, hurry up and get on stage. Even though there's a marriage agreement, you were still driven out and looked down upon by others. But I believe you are like a piece of gold. One day, you'll definitely shine and prove to all those who underestimated you. I decided on the Yi family's investment in Tianhai. You are given full responsibility for this. Not even I will interfere with your decisions. As the words were spoken, the banquet hall fell into a deathly silence. Even the most prominent figures who arrived last were left dumbfounded. He decided, and Ye Yaoqin would not intervene. This is an investment from the Yi family. It's not just 1 or 2 billion. Rumor has it the minimum is 5 billion. As for the upper limit, no one could possibly figure it out. Everything was handed over to Zhao Ping'an. Ouyang face was ashen. It was clear from Ye Yaoqin's words. He resented the broken engagement. Zhao Ping'an must resent it even more. And if Zhao Ping'an uses the Yi family to exact revenge, there would be no way to resist it. What are we going to do? Lu Yi remained silent. Their voices all carried a tremble. Su Tianlong was even more terrified than they were, because his son had also ordered Bald Lu to cripple Zhao Ping'an. If this ever came to his attention, it would spell disaster for the Su family. Dad, what should we do now? Even Su Baosher was panicking, fearing that Zhao Ping'an might retaliate. But the question of what to do next was something even Su Tianlong couldn't answer at the moment. After a brief moment of hesitation, Zhao Ping'an made up his mind and decided to step onto the stage. mainly because he didn't want to embarrass Ye Yaoqin in front of all these people. I disagree. Su Baoshi summoned his courage and spoke up, knowing that if Zhao Pingyan gained control, he would surely seek revenge. So he intended to put an end to it before it even began, and loudly declared, "Miss Yi, you say that choosing a partner requires selecting someone with wisdom. Wisdom truly stands out from the crowd. I, Su Baoshi, may not be exceptionally gifted. I graduated from a prestigious Ivy League university, Tianlong Group, as the fastest growing company in Tianhai City. My contributions have been significant and undeniable. So tell me, why am I any less capable than Zhao Pingyan?" Su Tianlong nodded quietly to himself. His son was 100 times more outstanding than Zhao Pingyan. I'm curious to see what he has to say. Ye Yaoqin fixed her gaze on him. Word by word, she said, just because you got trampled by a horse. The banquet hall instantly erupted into roaring laughter. Some people laughed so hard they couldn't stop. This incident has already spread throughout Tianhai. It's just that everyone finds it inconvenient to talk about openly. Who would have thought Missy could be so ruthless, exposing someone's flaws in front of everyone? Su Baoshi was left speechless, unable to utter a single word. Wished I could just disappear into a hole in the ground. Su Tianlong lowered his head as well. The laughter sounded especially grating. Without their interference, Yang Hai didn't dare to speak either. The atmosphere became harmonious. Zhao Pingyan offered help, and said a few words. Then it was time for the toasting. Made the rounds. Then head back upstairs to the reception room. The reception room was filled with the group of people who appeared last. Uncle Feng and Uncle Gu. Thank you both for coming to support me. Ye Yaoqin no longer carried the poise she had while toasting earlier. Instead, she seemed more like a young girl. Zhao Pingyan walked beside her. He couldn't help but marvel. It's a pity she doesn't pursue acting. But Gu Qingning did not return the playful attitude with a smile. With a stern face, he said unhappily to Yaoqin, "Don't blame your uncle for speaking bluntly. This is such a major investment. How can you entrust it to a criminal? Do you think this is a game?" He used to be the bodyguard of Ye Yaoqin's grandfather. He practically watched Ye Yaoqin grow up. Their relationship is quite close. Ye Yaoqin's face turned red. She said awkwardly, "Uncle Gu, you can't judge people with outdated perspectives. They say a wayward person turning over a new leaf is priceless. Especially since Zhao Pingyan gained insight while in prison. There's no need to say anything further." Gu Qingming interrupted coldly. He glanced at Zhao Pingyan. His eyes were filled with disdain. "Kid, get out of here immediately. From this day forward, don't let me catch you near Yaoqing again. Otherwise, execute them on the spot." Uncle Gu tried to persuade Yaoqing. "That aligns with my thoughts too." Feng Banian spoke in a serious tone. "He has a square-shaped face. He exudes an aura of authority without needing to raise his voice. Just a moment ago, I had a conversation with your father, but he didn't mention you choosing a criminal as a partner. Ask him to leave. Don't let your dad worry about you." Yaoqin Yi seemed a bit anxious. If her father finds out, he might immediately demand her to return home. But he knows Chongyang Kai. He must have learned how to do business from the corporate king. At that moment, Pingyan Zhao gave a faint smile. A person nearing death. Someone living a fate worse than death. You two think you have the right to threaten me. Everyone showed hostility at the same time. Zhao Pingyan and Wu Qingming are known for their fiery tempers. What did you just say? How dare you curse me? Do you believe I'll take you out right now? Feng Boyan has a calm and steady personality. He didn't say a word, but his displeasure was written all over his face. Zhao Pingyan, stop talking nonsense. Ye Yaoqin immediately gave a reminder. One of these two people is from the station's command center. The other is a provincial city official. Neither of them is someone Zhao Pingyan can afford to offend. If they really get angry, they'll report it to his father or grandfather. At most, they might spare him his life. As for the favor Kai Chongyang entrusted to him, that's no longer a possibility in the future. I wasn't talking nonsense. Whether it's true or not, it will be verified soon enough. Zhao Pingyan glanced at Gu Qingming. He smirked and said, "Do you want to know how much longer you can live?" Gu Qingming was seething with rage. It had been years since anyone dared to provoke him. A mere prisoner had the audacity to curse him to death right to his face. A brazen child. An illegitimate son showing such disrespect. The others grew anxious as well. If you dare to spout nonsense again, you will not be let off easily. Still able to survive like this, Zhao Ping'an extended one hand. 500 years. Wu Qingming's eyes widened with rage. As his words came out, one by one, Zhao Ping'an's fingers fell. When Zhao Ping'an's last finger dropped, the ancient elf suddenly spat out a mouthful of blood. He had originally been sitting on the couch. After spitting blood, his entire body lost control, fell to the ground, lost consciousness. This scene left everyone stunned. Immediately, panic spread among everyone. Even Feng Banian and Ye Yaoqin were not spared. The old commander. Uncle Gu, hurry. Quick, call an ambulance. In an instant, the reception hall descended into chaos. You should know that Gu Qinglin is the provincial commander of the War Department. If something were to happen to him, it could trigger unrest within the War Department. The consequences would be unimaginable. There was no time to wait for the ambulance. By then, the person was already gone. Zhao Ping'an spoke calmly. All the colleagues turned their eyes to Zhao Ping'an. Suddenly, they remembered it was Zhao Ping'an who noticed something was wrong with Gu Qinglin. You are a doctor. Someone questioned. Do you think you can save Commander Gu? Another person asked. Do you think I would order you? Hurry up and save Commander Gu. Tianhai Shizun flew into a rage. This is his own territory. He couldn't let Gu Qinglin encounter any danger. Who do you think you are? Zhao Ping'an cursed directly. It's nothing more than Master Tianhai. Inside the famous prison, those guys who made mistakes are several times tougher than him. Even the remaining underlings of those people are far superior to him. On Christmas Eve, Yaoqin finally regained her composure. Her eyes were filled with pleading. She begged, asking if you could save Uncle Gu. I'm begging you, please, can you do it? Uncle Gu used to be my grandfather's bodyguard. He also served on the battlefield, made significant contributions in defending the nation. Help him out, he holds genuine feelings for Gu Qingming. When he was young, his grandfather worried about the dangers of going to school. It was often Gu Qingming who escorted him. No wonder Zhao Ping muttered to himself. He had a favorable impression of Ye Yaoqin. Another point is that he once protected this country. Stepped forward, raised his hand and tapped Gu Qingming dozens of times. Gu Qingming spat out another mouthful of fresh blood. Others saw this and assumed it was something more serious, immediately shouting that anyone daring to harm Commander Gu would face their wrath, and ordered someone to arrest him immediately. The tension in the air grew thick as a standoff loomed. Suddenly, a voice called out to stop. As Gu the elf slowly opened their eyes, and with great effort explained that Mr. Zhao was not attacking them, but was actually trying to save them. I was just choked by a mouthful of blood. I couldn't breathe. It was him who pressed a few points. Only then did the blood come out. Everyone finally understood. They all looked apologetically at Zhao Ping'an. A strange glow appeared in Ye Yaoqin's eyes. Her heart surged with excitement as if she'd found a treasure. He even knows medical skills.